Okay, hello and welcome everyone. So we're going to be starting the stream now with luckytyphlosion's bizarre tournament reverse weakness. So today going to be joining on commentary is Eurasia. Hello Eurasia.
Dum da dum! It's Eurasia time! Hi guys. Are you ready for this awesome tournament?
I sure am ready. Alright, let's so before we start, just going to briefly explain how the tournament works. So to put it basically, so this tournament is using the new MOON Roundrobin style, which means that players submit their setups before starting the tournament, and then after the tournament starts, we have the setups are public, so all the players can see what everyone else plays. And then everyone plays everyone else, so it's a round robin tournament. But this time it's going to be setting up for a top cut that will be happening based on the results of the round robin. So we're going to see how the players do for this week. And yeah, so the main twist for this format is that it's following something called reverse weakness, which Eurasia, feel free to explain.
Alright, if it's reverse, shouldn't you do it? Nah, I'm just kidding. Yes, for those who play Battle Network, who have been playing Battle Network, there's always been a weakness system. Battle Network 6 went from 4 weaknesses to pure 8. So every element has a weakness. You know, fire beats wood, wood beats electric, electric beats aqua, cursor beats break, break beats sword, sword beats wind. But in this bizarre tournament by Lucky, who's gonna pay for changing the mechanics, has actually made it work backwards. So in this tournament, aqua beats electric, electric beats wood, and wood beats fire. Along with the secondary weakness chain, wind beating sword, sword beats break, and break beats cursor. Some examples of these will be, for example, the bubble status caused by chips like bubble wrap. And usually, if you're hit by the weakness of aqua, Alec, that does double damage. This time, fire will do times 2 damage. Fire will also remove the bubble wrap. Alec will do times 2 damage on grass panels, not fire. Electric attacks will also remove grass panels, again instead of fire. And Alec will also destroy. Well, not destroy. It would also go through. Go through the risky honey hive, which is normally unblockable to anything with fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing how people decided to change how they build their folders, or the different strategies that we're going to be seeing them employ just for this tournament.
Although the weaknesses have been changed, some game mechanics have been kept in for balance reasons, like aura being blown away by wind, trap still being removed by cursor, aqua still freezing on ice panels. Fire will not do double damage on ice panels, even though that technically makes sense. Ice panels can't be removed like that, so that weakness is not keeping. Wood will still remove the conveyor panels, and aqua will still remove the geyser panels, which is those lava panels.
Yeah, and I don't think you mentioned it, but breaking and pseudo breaking will still deal 2x damage on frozen.
Yes, and breaking will still go through shield.
Yeah.
So certain things were not changed just due to balance reasons, because it would be kind of, yeah, it just wouldn't work out as well. So now that we got that out of the way, are you guys ready for the first match?
All right, let's head into the first match, which is going to be Mden vs Akusuma or IMASUKA.
Yes, and Mden versus Akusami. Although I feel like I've seen that name before. Mden does not look familiar. He seems to be a brand new player, which is great.
Yeah,
the new
so
moon is... Yes.
I believe this is the first tournament that Amden has joined, so they've been doing really well so far.
Yeah, so it's always happy to see a brand new player joining in our new moons. The new moons is literally made for brand new players. Brand new players to dip their toes into the PvP circuit.
Yeah, exactly.
Akusami. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Akusami Akusami has been a player for quite a long time. Although I don't often see him playing in tournaments, so this will be fun.
Yeah, so going to start by looking at their setup. So if we start by the Navicast, we see they actually have relatively similar Navicast, but IMASUKA decided to go for Rush and is actually playing Falzar compared to Amden, who's playing high HP Gregor.
Hey Zero, when are we gonna do reverse Navi customizing?
I mean, people already do that. I mean, so the Navicast that IMASUKA is using, usually you'd see people do with Gregor, so it's very interesting to see how this format is basically already changing the builds that people decide to go for.
Yes, that's true. He's using air shoes, which is not something you usually would use in Falsa, since you have two ways of having air shoes.
Yep, but definitely, so we see the two get in, we see uninstall, so you don't want to, because in this format now, Tengu is removed by cursor chips, so you don't always want to risk going into Tengu Cross just for the air shoes, and you don't necessarily want, so before getting too much ahead of myself, IMASUKA is running, one of the combos is running is static, and statics is much easier to avoid if you are in Beast out due to how Beast jump works as a mechanic. So staying in basement and having the air shoes has a lot of value actually, which you don't really expect in Falzar.
Yeah, I actually just realized, like, Tengu always had a fear of swords,
Yeah.
but having a fear of cursor chips now, oh boy, that means Erase Man, that means Mach Gun, that means Magnum.
Yeah.
Yo, that's actually pretty scary considering that they have much more range than swords.
Yeah, exactly, and no anti-damage can protect against that because they all go through anti-damage.
Oh boy. You can really see the possible new strategies with the weaknesses.
Yeah. And now looking at Amden's build, so we see Amden's also running 2 static, but we also see the 2 air spin, which is going to be a very interesting combo. We're going to see if Amden's able to get that going.
Yes, I'm a big fan of air spin. And ground man, instead of being a danger to slash cross, it's not going to be a danger to erase cross now.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful now with that. Well, actually, no, it's not a problem for Falsar because Falsar doesn't have a cursor cross.
Yeah.
But it is still very. It is still something. It is still something to make note of.
Yeah, I mean, IMASUKA is also running the Groundman SP, so we're seeing basically G code mirror match, but there is distinct differences in the strategies they decide to go for.
Yeah, Mden has a good amount of defense on his side.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he has 1 life aura, 2 invisibles, 3 anti-damages. Oh wait, no, IMASUKA got the same thing. 1 invisible. Oh no, he has 2 invisibles, 3 anti-damages.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a lot of fun.
Alright, well, let's head right into the match then.
I don't want to. Alright, let's do it.
It's too late.
Once you start, you can't get off this ride. Ooh, but he has a bubble chip. Okay, he's going fire, which is in this weak to wood. Which means he's gotta be careful You have to be careful using Tomahawk Cross. Alright, he's going for that first. Oh wow. Ow. Static! He's invulnerable though, he can't do anything to him right now. Well, he's got 2 statics. Fun fact, that green invulnerability comes from a bug. It's a small chance of happening. Although if you have more bugs, it ends up lasting a little bit longer.
Yeah, I believe IMASUKA has 6 total colors, which gives it's 5 total colors. No, it is 6. Yeah, which gives the total length color bug.
Oh boy, we're starting off with that erase, man.
Okay, so waiting for it to time out, which guarantees it hitting on the second panel.
He's completely invulnerable. It's a very good thing he has those air shoes. If he did not have those air shoes, it would have been difficult.
Yeah, and you see Emden is really stuck because normally the green invulnerability would last for about a turn and a half in normal gauge at maximum bug level, but because this is in fast gauge, so now it ends up taking so much time where there is nothing that goes through it, so Emden's just going to have to deal with it, holding onto their chips and deciding what they want to go for next turn. Ooh. So now we see a cross coming out which removed that green invis.
Shocking. Unfortunately, he does not have enough charge to make that charge shot. Stop right there.
We see Rush being triggered at the end of turn, so now Emden has the option to cross cancel to remove the paralysis effect.
Wow, he already has Chrono Force, although he doesn't have the area to really capitalize it yet.
Yeah, and because we see permahold, so Chrono Force summons a soldier on each panel that does 3 hits. So the more area you have, it can very easily snowball to deal a lot of damage, especially with Beast Out, giving it plus 30. But we see these permaholes in the middle, so if IMASUKA is able to camp in the middle when he expects that to come, then he can avoid a lot of the damage coming from it.
Very powerful chip, but it has a weakness on holes.
Oh, the erase
he got him.
See a nice.
But that's not doing double damage.
Still removes the trap though.
Yes. Oh, he got burned.
Ah, missing Judgment.
That whiff. Okay, he has static and uninstall.
And we see the static will combo as well. So air will is removed. Stop? Does it stop or does it goes gets removed by hold? I'm not sure exactly.
Oh!
Ooh.
That sword breaking. Get him.
Then the Genin comes out, but IMASUKA was already uninstalled, so he's going to have to go into Tengu or Beast Out.
Beast Out would probably be safer as it has no weaknesses, but I'm not sure if Suka wants to use up the Beast Out so quickly.
Yeah, especially in fast gauge, because turns will go so much quickly, so running out Beast Out can be an issue. But we've already seen Raceman come out from Emden, though Emden does have 3 machine guns total, which means it's very risky, or can be very risky, going into Tengu Cross.
Yeah, who would have thought trading in swords for Cursor would be scary? Not too many options, so we might have to rely on his Buster for this one.
Ooh, see that static coming out, doesn't have uninstall though.
Oh, that damage! Whoop!
Yeah, the Ember is lasting the whole turn, but now still Amden doesn't really want to take their chip like this.
Yeah, the holes are really screwing up his chip options. You can't use Kernel Force or Airspeed. Or any Navi chips. Well, any Navi chips that don't float. Which Slashman does not float.
Ooh, grab coming out.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Fortunately, Airspin gets stopped. But the static does connect. Ooh, bubble at the end of turn. So now Amden will have to cross cancel if they want to regain movement as soon as the turn starts.
Yeah, being bubbled is not something you want to be in. Especially getting hit by Fire Chip.
Yeah, exactly. And IMASUKA is running 2 Heat Dragons, so that could be a lot of damage to set up.
Heat Dragon does 120, is it? Or is it 140?
I think it's 140.
No, yeah, it's Elec Dragon that does 150. That's one of those.
Ooh.
Ah! Uninstall! If that was regular Battle Network, I would have removed it.
Yeah, and we saw that Amden kept Super Armor because each of the beasts, for each version, Beast Out gives special ability, and for Falzar it's giving Air and Float Shoes, and Gregar it's giving Inherent Super Armor, which can't be uninstalled.
Yeah, it's Super Armor so strong it cannot be removed. Although this is unfortunate because IMASUKA got uninstalled.
Yeah.
He's being flinched is causing the HP bugs to stack. He's losing a lot of HP now from the HP bug.
Oh yeah, so one interesting thing we see here is that IMASUKA had his air shoes uninstalled, but he's going to be able to move freely on holes, and the reason for that is because he ended the turn while being on hole, which means that he can move while still on them, but as soon as he steps on a normal panel, he will lose that. But he ended up using Hub Batch anyway, so that doesn't really play into it. We see IMASUKA thinking about, we see Amden thinking about the Q Force, but IMASUKA still has the anti-damage up, so that could be a mistake. Ooh, nice.
That was close. That Elec would have been bad.
Okay, so we see
damage.
Q Force coming out. It's not boosted, but it's still doing decent damage, though. IMASUKA at the last second stepped into the middle, so he's going to avoid taking damage from the perma-hole in the middle. So that's going to save him some of the damage.
It might be better to go all Mach guns, because using a time stop gives Suka an opportunity to use time stop.
Yeah, and because of the lack of super armor, you can basically keep comboing all of the machine guns into each other, and your opponent doesn't have anything to move, anything to do in between. Ooh.
Oh, he's going for it!
Going Beast over this early is going to be very risky because of the fast gauge, so the turn's going to end very quickly.
Wait, is that the Beast over without not any chips?
Yeah, I think they might have thought. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I don't think they had any chips in hand already. Ooh, machine guns coming out. Now the HP is draining very quickly because Beast over ended. The Grandman SP, I think, is that enough for gamers?
No.
Ooh, down to 1 HP, but now I'm flashing. Now if IMASUKA goes into Beast Over, that could be game because of the broken panels, and then wouldn't be able to avoid that.
Yeah, right now Mega Man is in the very, very tired state.
Ooh, the Element Trap.
Watch out!
1 HP, and then the machine gun finishes off the game. Nice.
Oh, 1 HP each. It was really down to the wire. Like, getting super removed is really bad for Suka.
Okay, now we're heading into game 2, and we see Amden already has 2 area grabs and life aura. So going into SoulXCross could be an option with life aura to protect that. um, Charge Cross is still a very good option because that gives +1 custom every turn, so that can help with looking through the folder and make it basically improving the draws. So that's always a good option to go for. Especially seeing that IMASUKA's folder doesn't have many wood chips. I think the only one is Element Man grass, so it's very unlikely to be decrossed this early.
Yeah, it's funny how normally Charge Cross gets these crossed really fast.
Yeah.
But now it's not as likely. Like there are several wood chips, but a lot of people don't use them outside of. They aren't too popular. Here we go.
Alright, we see the fast gauge coming out. The Raceman is going to connect.
But it will not decross.
Yeah, but it's going to set up 4 hits with the machine gun. Nice, those 4 hits.
Yeah, all those area grabs, man. Ah!
Looks like both areas cancelled out with each other, so now back to neutral area.
He's got Element Man, but unfortunately Element Man won't really do anything with that cross. It's only the main 4 elements. The only thing right now that can decross Dust Cross is Ground Man.
No, so Dust Cross is breaking, which is decrossed by sword, and we see the Slash Man in Amden's hand. Yeah.
You know, you really have to pay attention to the reverse weaknesses.
Yep, we also see Amden has static will combo, but looks like they're deciding to keep it for a bit. Ooh!
Uninstall!
And the counter hit. No kunais will come out, but the D-Cross will connect. Second bolts are into Heat Dragon.
That ×2 damage.
Doing 2x damage. The game's still very close. Amden started with more HP, I believe. Or at least slightly... no, it was a bit less HP actually. So they're very close on damage dealt so far.
Yeah, it's surprisingly close.
Ooh, Geddon coming out, and we've already seen the uninstall, so now
yeah,
going to be stuck.
Oh, that +10 static!
Taking all of these hits.
Oh, if you use that static just a bit sooner.
That was a lot of damage from one turn.
Yeah, that was very intense. Although Suka might move at the last minute because he probably saw it coming. Oh no! Is the second hit gonna hit? Okay, yeah. After damage still trigger.
Now the Simp is Beast Out's almost out, and though we see Colonel Force and the Windrak, that will be a lot of damage, which will bring the game back, especially in Beast Out. But it looks like Amden's deciding to go with the Grandman play.
Oh no.
Machine gun into Element Man, so that's going to be wood, and which would ooh, yeah, no undershirt, so that will be game.
That is the one risk of not having undershirt. A strong hit you would normally survive. So not having undershirt is a little risky. Suka says he loves fast gauge. Well, you gotta slow down, buddy. You're going too fast on the highway.
Yeah, fast gauge. It's actually really interesting because people are usually not used to playing against it, so they end up using their chips too quickly or having to throw away chips. And some people don't know that if you have chips in hand still, you can press OK again without taking any new chips or going into Beast Out, and you will keep the same chips in hand. So that's something that people use a lot, especially in fast gauge.
I prefer slow gauge, just taking it nice and slow. Ooh, that first anti-damage. Ooh, that was close. Wait, what? Is he gonna activate? There it is. Okay.
Bubble into the heat dragon. Okay, so it looks like I'm just thinking about throwing away the earlier. Oh no, okay, so they're going back.
See?
Yeah.
See, there you go. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh,
that was
he
really
threw it down the
unfortunate.
hole. Which means somebody downstairs got hit in the head with an air spin. Oh no.
Now we see that machine gun.
He's now braking, which means wind will hurt him, correct?
I mean, so he's going to be decrossed by sword.
Sword.
Yeah.
Darn it, it's wind beats sword, sword beats break. That's it. Like, this is 14 years of Battle Network memory just being messed with. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh. Hey, it's a race man.
Raceman coming out from both sides. Though again, no decrosses.
Hey, it's a race man, but better because he's in cross.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was paralyzed. Oh boy.
Ooh, nice.
Ah! Cut him down.
Decross.
Whoa! That was close. Watch out! Back. Yo, that dab, man. He dabbed in his face. Yeah.
Yeah. Mega Man has a lot of moves, so you need to be prepared.
Okay, he can get a lot of area. He can get a lot of area right now. And since I don't believe Suka has used Judgment yet. Oh no, wait, he has used Judgment already, correct?
I don't think we've seen Judgment. I think that was last game.
Right. Which means if he draws Judgment, he can get his area back.
Ooh, but we see Geddon coming out. I think they both have air shoes. Ooh, that was a bit too quickly, so they end up missing, unfortunately. Element Trap will also miss to the Invis.
Bubble!
Ooh.
Oh boy, he's got Colonel Force. He's got all the area belts in the world.
But the panels are broken. Are they going to be fixed in time? Looks like Amden's deciding to go with SoulXCross, which is very good at applying pressure. But looking at IMASUKA's build, he's running statics, he's running wind drag. Actually, I don't think wind drag, just 3 statics, which can very easily decross.
This is funny. Normally Tango has to be afraid of Slash. Now it's the other way around.
Okay, so it looks like Amden's deciding to go into Beast Out, but that is somewhat risky.
Oh boy.
Because we still see the Life Aura and Slash Chip Charge can easily miss. So going into Elec might be the safer play just to get the plus damage with Elec Dragon, just to remove that Life Aura.
Yeah, he doesn't have any way of removing that aura other than the chip charge.
Ooh, that would have decrossed, but that misses. And then no, the accident of TFC, that was really unfortunate. Okay, so you see Q-Force coming out then, but then Geddon completely denying it.
Oh, how unfortunate. He had the right counter for that Giga.
Yeah, and so that was the correct play from Amden, that after seeing that you don't have an answer, you use Colonel Force at the end of turn, so that next turn you will hopefully get something like Wind Wrap, which we do see. But unfortunately that Geddon just completely denied all of it.
Whoa.
Ooh,
okay.
Nice.
We have decrossed by cursor, and that's something you see every day.
Yeah. And the trap was removed as well. and is thinking about what to take, but a lot of these chips are affected by getting the broken panels on the field, so doesn't have too many options. Especially you want to get value out of beast out, but the way it's looking, that's going to be very difficult.
Oh, they okay.
Nice.
Don't get too close, guys. But he got it at least. Boom, boom, and boom. 360 damage right there. Oh, he did it just a little too early.
Now, and then still has the Elements Man in hand, and see if he decides to keep that or take new chips. It is fast gauge, so the turns are running very quickly. So you also need to get in damage to make sure you don't lose by damage judge.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot. Oh, we're on turn 9. See, we're already on turn 9.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Now the Groundman SP.
Everyone gets a Groundman SP.
Bringing. Ooh, and the counter hit.
Oh, that is not looking good. Oh no.
Yeah, and then it's going to have to cross cancel because they don't have undershirt, so they need to protect their HP.
How bad?
Now we see the HP bugs also ticking down. Ooh, the anti-damage will protect it, but now the there is no defense anymore. Just buster shots can be enough to finish it, and that finishes off the game.
Yes, Suka usually has 0 attack, but that hub batch gave him full attack.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that was rough. That's just the first match of the day. Oh boy.
Yeah, that was a really close game.
Oh man, both players played well. It was good seeing Dan and Dan trying out the game. Hopefully, we'll see you back for more.
Yeah, especially starting out with Reverse Weakness, which is quite the different formats. It changes a lot of things around, so very well played, and we're going to be seeing more matches, so looking forward to seeing, and from IMASUKA as well, who hasn't joined in a tournament for quite a while, so...
Yes, he's a very old school player.
Alright.
In fact, he's...
Yeah?
Yes, in fact, we are ready for the next match. Symes versus M. Dan once again. Wow, that was fast.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
Oh wait, it's M. Dan. I'm calling him Dan.
So
Why'd you correct me?
the order of the matches changed. So the next one's going to be Solid vs Enduring Grey. So for now,
I've been lied to.
and we're gonna see that we're going to see Amden play very shortly. So don't worry about it.
Yay! Alright, so our next match is Salad versus Enduring Grey.
Yeah. That's correct.
Yay! Alrighty, Salad does not need any introduction. She's been playing as long as I have. It's way back in the day when dinosaurs roamed the earth. Enduring Ray is fairly new, but Ray has been playing in several tournaments, so he is indeed a face that we have seen often.
Yeah, and has been doing very well. I believe in the last Blood Moon, they reached into I think they got a few matches in the top cut, so she's doing very well so far.
That's very impressive. That shows. Don't be scared to join the new moons. They're really just fun.
Indeed. Alright, let's look at their setup. So we're seeing, if we start with Salad's running quite the interesting folder. We don't see that very often.
C code.
Yeah, so I believe, so basically that folder tries to get as much value as possible from bubble into fire chips. So we see Solids running 2 fire burn 3 and 2 fire hit 3, which can deal a lot of damage on their own. but if you combine that with the bubble status, with 3 bubble star 2, that can be a lot of damage coming out.
Yo. Oh wow, Fire Hit 3 and Fire Burn 3 are both C? Oh wow.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, Fire Burn and Fire Hit are really strong chips. On top of Fire Burn cracking panels.
Yeah, and we also see Solids running Chargeman SP and Colonel SP, so quite the interesting build. Don't really see people running C code that often. So it's good to see.
Yes, Colonel and Protoman would be the bane of Falser for Falser for ground cross and dust cross.
Yeah, so one interesting thing is that Colonel is actually one of the few navies that isn't one of the few sword navies that isn't affected as much by hull, so he still can't be used on a hull. But because he doesn't jump to the opponent to hit them, if your opponent's hiding behind a hull, then you can still hit them. That means in Gideon, for example, you can still connect very easily with Colonel Man.
Yes, it is cool how we have 2 sword options. One of them is just straight up in your face, and the other one is from far away. It's a lot of fun. As we see for defense options, Salad has as usual a nice balance of attack and defense.
Yeah.
3 invisibles, 3 anti-damages, 1 life aura. Ray has 1 life aura and 2 invises, 2 anti-damage, 1 life aura. A little less, but Ray also has slow rage, which might make the game last a little bit.
Yeah, so they're both playing, it's a Gregar mirror match, but we see that their Navicust is slightly different. So Solid's running the usual, basically the typical Gregar cast, which gives decent HP and all the utility that you'd want with Rush, Undershirt, Custom 1, Air Shoes, and Bug Stop, while Enduring Grey is playing that bug build, because as we see again, so we're seeing that static into Airspin, but this time Enduring Grey is running 3 of each. So we're going to probably be seeing Enduring Grey going for that combo more often.
Well, it is cool to see Ray have that HP plus 50. Both of the Navi customizers are really stacked.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all ready for this. Zero, are you?
Alright, I sure am ready. Let's head right into the match.
Let's do it! Salad has a modest amount of options. But that first turn life order.
Yeah, so one thing we haven't mentioned is that Enduring Grey has a reg full cast, so we might expect them to go into Charge Cross to get the +1 custom, and then use full cast straight away. And Sal's probably expecting that as well, which is why she also would want to go into Charge Cross to get more value out of that.
Yep.
Ooh, though looks like Enduring Grey was expecting that and decided to stay in Chargeman for 10. Oh.
Wow, everyone got slapped in the face.
Yeah, that was very nice movement from Sal, avoiding, I believe, all of the machine gun hits.
Holy crud, Fire Hit is 180?
Fire Hit 3?
Yeah, Fire 3 is 180. That's more damage than Dull Thunder or anything like that.
Yeah, Fire Hit is really strong.
I think if you combine that, yeah?
I think it might be the same damage as Dull Thunder 3.
Really?
I think it's 180, I'm not sure though. Ooh, Seasalt have the bubble star at the end of turn, so she's setting up for that.
That big kiss right there.
If Enduring Grey decides to stay in Charge Cross or doesn't cross cancel, then they're going to be taking 320 damage to the face, which is a lot of damage, especially at that low HP.
Oh man, 180 times 2? Oh, that's a lot of damage when you only have 1500. Yeah. Nope.
Ooh. See, nice. The counter from
Countered!
She's waiting, and now was waiting for the confirmed position for Colonel SP. And now,
Yes.
ooh.
Colonel moves forward if the entire row is taken. Or column? No, column.
I think if any panel is taken, it goes into the next.
Oh!
Nice.
If Salad did not have super armor, that would have done massive damage. Okay, I actually didn't know you can combo it with Airspin 1. I thought Airspin 1 vanished.
Yeah, I'm actually not too familiar with the airspin static combo, so it's very interesting to see people running that. And that was a lot of damage as well. We see Solid's down to 700 HP already.
Yeah, that was hard.
Ooh, the area grab. Solid's going to be looking to try to get a counter with the risky honey.
Uh-oh.
So we see that double point, so she was expecting static. Ooh.
Oh! Drop the base!
Is that going to be enough damage?
Yep, dead.
Nice!
Yo, drop the base, man!
And that's...
How long has it been? How long has it been, Zero? Have we seen a base kill?
Ooh, it's been quite a while, especially with the plus 60 from double point. So that was very nice play.
Where is Soul? He should have seen this!
Yeah, Soul would have been very proud.
Yo, Soul, where are you? That was made for you. Oh boy. Oh man. The first round ended really fast.
Ooh, going into game 2 now, we see Soul's broken crush, so the planche is going there. Okay, so she decided to cross cancel. She had the option to wait out the paralysis, which would give anger, which so you can, there are two ways to get anger. One of them is to be hit by 300 or more damage at the same time, or to be paralyzed for 121 frames.
Yeah, so being flinched or paralyzed long enough will cause anger.
Yeah, as well.
So you have to be careful when using rush. The opponent can use it against you. Ah! Huffy! Everyone gets a race, man!
Yeah, I don't think Cell was quite in the invulnerability frames from SoulXCross, so I think they will both hit.
Yeah, it most likely hit. So Sal's just ready for this. Ah! Ah! Paralyzed! Oh!
Ooh, nice movement though, avoiding that pulsar and
Oh no!
Fortunately gone.
Yo, the guy downstairs is screaming, "What are you kids doing up there?" Yo.
He got enlightened. Okay, so now we're seeing the options that Cell's going for Beast to try to get D-Cross, and that does connect. Nice. Ooh.
Oh! Almost.
But the fire hit, and that gives Enduring Grey Anger. Unfortunately, that wasn't boosted by Solid. If she was in Heat Cross, that would have been plus 100 damage for free.
Yeah, yo, that's really scary, man. Getting burned after being put in a bubble. Although Salad's currently invisible, and Ray has already used a Race Man, so the only option is Judge Man right now. If Ray wants to hit through the invisible. Salad is in range.
Yeah. You'll see Solid does have some defense and Beast as well. Ooh, barely missing that charge shot.
Beam!
Ooh, nice. Avoiding some of the machine gun hits. Let's see. Okay, so she's going to use Colonel to remove that life aura, just so she doesn't have to throw it away.
Yeah, that was good. Wow, the HP got even once again.
Yeah, we see Solid does have her Giga, which is Delta Ray Edge, but unfortunately, do you want to explain briefly how Delta Ray Edge works? Eurasia?
Yeah? I'm watching.
Okay. I think we cut off for a bit.
Yeah, that was weird. I did get a quick hiccup, but we're all fine now. Sal's holding onto that life aura.
Ooh,
Uh-oh!
let's see
He's
if
gonna
she
move
can
into it.
avoid it.
Ah!
Nice!
Yo, the quick reflexes. Although now Ray has to deal with that incoming flash bomb. Honestly, I always thought it said fish bomb when I was a kid. I didn't realize that was an L, not an I.
Yeah. The naming on some of these chips is very interesting because they had to cut, I believe, them to 8 characters.
Run over 4 was funny with that. D-Cross!
Ooh, let's see. Nice! And finishing off the game.
Yo, oh my god. Because the heat cross gives plus 50 to fire.
Yeah.
So that made that made that chip 230 damage. While in bubble, oh my god, that's 460 damage!
Yeah, I think the timing on that was very close. So the bubble doing 80 damage and then the firehead doing all that damage, which brought down Enduring Grade to 1 HP, and the flash bomb at the very end.
I blinked and I
the
missed it.
finishing blow, yeah.
Hold still, Salad. You ain't going anywhere.
Ooh, nice!
Oh!
Maximum damage air spin!
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, so that's one thing that bees can do. If there can be one frame of movement where you basically get hit once by it and avoid the rest.
Oh. I thought they stuck on you no matter what. Okay, that's probably my experience, is when I get bees on the face and they sting me and they kill me. So, that's... Wow. I love air spin static combo. I can never pull it off well enough. So I'm really going crazy seeing that. Oh no. It's gonna pierce the invisible! Pop!
Okay, so it should be time for one charge shot and then into full cast straight away. So it still has some defense in hand, so she might decide to keep the Orgo. We see she has Delta Ray, she has a few options.
Yeah, she's gonna opt to hold on to her hand.
Ooh. Doom Grey is going with SoulXCross. Nice. Ooh, air spins coming out.
No! Judgment fell down the hole!
So lost a lot of HP very early on, but she's still there, she's still doing well. Unfortunately, Oshia can actually go for maximum hits Delta Ray.
Yeah, that's actually in optimal position. Delta Ray requires the top, the row in front and above the opponent, behind the opponent, and below and in front of the opponent. So that's actually as optimal as possible, actually. If Sally can pull this off, and if Ray has no defense, this is probably going to be game. Oh boy. Oh wait, no, he moved.
Oh yeah, that is true. That's with movement, and the Enduring Grey could still have defense, but they decide not to TFC that. Ooh, these broken panels. That's going to be 2 hits. So
Hit
that's
twice,
good.
yeah. Ah! Oh jeez, all that defense.
Now Soul is ahead on HP.
Yeah, the Salad has been blocking all of Ray's attempts to attack.
We see Soul has the bubble, has the firehead, so she might be going for the combo. Let's see if that is enough, or if Enduring Grey is able to get the game. Ooh, that's 3 hits! And then Buster Shot, finishing off the game.
Getting kissed that many times should be illegal. Oh man, that's too many kisses in one game.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. So the way bubble works is that you can it keeps moving even though it hits. So if you're on the frames that mid movement when it hits you, it will count you as being on the next panel as well. And if the next panel gets hit, so that will remove the bubble status. And
Yeah. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, you can't be bubbled while you're bubbled. So getting hit while bubbled removes the bubble. But if you get hit while unbubbled, you get bubbled again. So it's bubble, not bubble, bubble, bubble,
yeah.
bubble, bubble.
And that was really unfortunate. I think the maximum I've seen was 4 hits from bubble, but that was with
4 hits?
yeah, though that was with status card, so that was really unfortunate movements, which is quite
Oh
interesting to
man,
see.
I feel bad when I get hit 3 times by charged and boom.
Oh yeah, that definitely does a lot of damage.
Wow, man, good game, good game.
All right, well let's head right into the next game, which will be Symes vs Emden.
Yeah, we get to see it. We get to see Emden again. But Symes, my arch nemesis. Tennessee what he's. Oh, he's going with a lot of HP this time.
Yeah, so looking at Symes' build, he's running a high HP Gragar build, and we see that for his folder he's also opting to splash in few Z chips and TSP navies, which is also a very interesting choice, especially given the format.
Well, Tomahawk is sword grass, so he can remove fire and breaking, which is
4 chips.
He has a good amount of coverage.
Yeah, so normally Tomahawk SP and Tingo SP do a lot of damage, but now because of the range of things they can decross, they even have a lot more utility. So normally when you play in SoulXCross, which is decrossed by wind, you can stay at the back to avoid the range of Tingo Man SP, but this time because Slash gets decrossed by wind, you're going to have to be at the front panels to hit with your charge shots. But that will put you in the optimal range for Tengu Man SP to hit, which would be a lot of damage. I think it's 160 and it hits twice.
It hits twice in the optimal position.
Yeah.
Which is a little harder than you think sometimes. But Q's gonna be fun.
Yeah. And so so we've already seen Emden play, they're running G-code with the static, so we're going to see how they decide to go for that. So one interesting thing in this matchup is that Symes doesn't have air shoes, which we don't really see that often in Gregar players.
Oh, that's true.
He decided to go for the higher HP and sacrifice the freedom of movement. But Emden, other than having Elect Dragon, I don't think, Emden doesn't run Geddon, doesn't run much that could punish Symes for that decision. So it's going to be interesting seeing how that one plays out.
Yes, not having air shoes can be a death sentence, but if you play properly around it, it may end up pretty well for you. Alright, let's do it!
Alright, let's head into the match.
Hey, custom music. And it's my favorite Battle Number 6 dungeon too. Wow, he already has bug fix.
Yeah, so we see Symes getting the bug fix turn one, although bug fix doesn't affect him that much because it's just HP and buster bug. But getting it is certainly good, especially because it will deny the damage bug from stacking up.
That was 200 damage.
Ooh, and we see the only option that Emden has to break
no!
panels.
Oh, no, I forgot he had air shoes. I thought he was gonna be stuck there.
Okay, we see him
He's
just
gonna
come
be...
out.
When I walk into it.
Yeah, erase charge shot pierces invis, so walking into that would have meant that Emden would have taken that damage anyway.
Yes, it's really painful to get hit by that charge shot more than once.
So we see Symes. Oh yeah, so one of the interesting tech options that Symes decided to go for is running triple shot, which so he doesn't have air shoes. So if he isn't careful, that could affect him. But this time looks like he's going to chip charge that to deal 200 damage. Ooh.
Oh, he was uninstalled and countered and charged.
Nice, and that was 2x damage from the charge cross. Let's see. And then trying to use their charge shot to avoid these charges, but that was very difficult to do. And now we see Q force from Symes already that would deal a lot of damage even though we're still at neutral area. That might actually be enough for game, but Amden is going for their own beast out, so we could see double Q force, wind drag, air grab.
He does it! Oh.
See, another air grab coming out. Symes still has Q force does come out. Oh no, the Empress got eaten out. Ooh, that was a lot of damage, but that wasn't quite enough.
That one hole saved Symes from that extra bit of a paralyze. He happened to be on the one panel with the one hole.
Yeah, I think that might have, if that connected, that would have been much closer. Symes was barely able to survive at the end. All of that HP really helping him out.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yo, reverse weaknesses is interesting. Like, you really are seeing different strategies.
Yeah, something you really don't see often is grass panels being removed by Alec.
Nope.
So we see the Summon Black is denied by the Invis and Slow Gauge is coming out from Symes.
Ah, boy.
That was unfortunate, that will pierce the Invis.
The question is he gonna? Yeah, he's most likely going to cross cancel.
But which of the navies does Symes have in his hand? If it's both Tomahawk or Tengu, could be very good if Amden decides to go into Beast Out or Slash. Looks like Symes is going to start with that. Let's see what Amden decides to do. If they don't have defense and get decross, that will be a lot of damage. I think 480 damage.
These reverse damage numbers are just weird. Oh,
Yeah.
they had a white capsule? Yeah, that chip charge is scary because for that wood knockout. Oh no! Oh!
So it looks like that will unfortunately connect and doesn't give flashing either. Ooh, that was element trap, nice. So that will paralyze. So, and to Bolstar. See what the setup is. Raceman comes up. That was Miss TFC. So
oh no! It's piercing anyway.
yeah, the anti-damage is going away. Nice. Amden's in a very good position now. Getting the confirmed area for charge shots.
Oh, you do that just a little too early. Oh, he's doing it just a little too early. At max charge, that charge shot's faster than the blink.
Yeah, though that actually ended up working out because you don't want your opponent to have flashing at the end of turn because that gives them a free invisible period where they can use their chips without worrying about TFC. But now since that doesn't happen, and then if they have the chip to react with, then they can still punish Symes for having defense up.
See, folks, going in too hard is not always a good thing. Honestly, the most important periods are... one of the most important periods is at the end of the turn. There's a lot you can do, or a lot that can happen at the end of the turn that will affect the next turn.
We see Beast Out coming, so this could be a Q Force turn. But now, let's hope that Amden has that wind track because we see Symes with the life aura.
Whoa!
Nice, wind track connecting. Ah,
Okay. Oh, he used invisible on his first?
yeah,
Oh, he used wind one.
I think that might have been a mistake. I think I'm then meant to chip charge that to deal 400 damage. But now Symes missing, meant to go for ice. I think the game might have had a bit of lag, so that might be explaining some of the issues they have. Unfortunately, lag is always an issue that people have to deal with.
Yes, remember, this game wasn't made for online play. We made it online. Well, technically the creators of the emulator, but yeah.
Now we see that Symes starting with the wind drag, so he's going to try to go for the early D-cross. Then he still has a good bit of defense, so... Ooh, and that was a counter hit as well! Yeah, you need to be careful when using wind drag, because your opponents, if they expect that and try to get counter hit on you, that could be very bad.
Yeah, that... Oh, there you go!
At least there is static, but Symes now has the invis, which is going to last... I think it's going to end before the end of turn.
All that defense.
We see Symes taking all the defense. Now the HP is very close, even though Symes started with a lot more HP.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, looks like the game froze for a bit, and it's back. And now we see Q Force and Wind Drag. So unless Mden has an invis or maybe anti-damage, I don't think would be enough. I think that blocks one row of Q Force, but then Buster Shots would be enough to finish it. Ooh,
Uh-oh.
that will trigger the anti-damage, so that might give it enough time to land. It does!
Oh!
Ooh.
The Colonel Force! That one guy just came out of the very back and that was enough.
Yeah, so so what happened there is that the broken panel on Amden's side delayed how long it took for his Colonel Force to come out and fire at Symes, which gave him enough time for his own Colonel Force, and that finished off the game at the very end there. Q-Force both times, finishing off the game. Very close game.
There's way too much Colonel Force. That was intense. That was so intense, I don't think anyone.
Yeah, yeah, that was a really close game. You don't often see games coming out to Colonel Force being that close. I think it's very rare that you have both players going for Q-Force at the same turn. So that was very interesting to see happen both times.
Yeah, that was great. And wanna know what the best part is?
Yeah.
We got more fights coming up.
All right, we sure do. So next match is going to be Shadow vs SoulXCross.
Oh yeah, I see. I like how Soul shows up now. He should have been here when the base was dropped.
Well, unfortunately, I mean Soul does run base as well, so we'll see if he's able to get that base rep that he always wants to do.
Holy Toledo's, he's got 2300 HP. Yo, Shadow. Shadow's going in for that chomp, man.
Yeah, so we see another high HP build, but this time it's Falzar and with custom bug. So there is going to not drawing bug fix early is going to be a bit more costly for Shadow, but he does have dust, so he always has the option to go for that.
At least the good part is that he doesn't have to worry about Cursor ruining his dust cross, but he's got to worry about the other weakness now, which is wind.
I believe no sword will decross.
Yeah. I don't know why I can get that messed up. Okay, yeah, Cursor's. I mean, dust is breaking, which is now weak to sword. So there aren't as many sword chips that can just like kill you instantly.
Yeah, so Soul is running F code with 3 magnums, 3 machine guns. He also has a bit of splash in M code with Muramasa and the B banish combo as well. So we do see Muramasa and Fire Sword as ways to decross dust, so Shadow will have to be very careful because getting hit by that Muramasa will do a lot of damage and you really don't want to see that happen.
Yes, that delicious 500 times 2. Awesome.
Yeah, so now looking at Shadow's build, so we see very interesting build again, trying to get the most out of the changes that reverse weakness does, with trying to use destroy pulse on grass panels.
Shadow, why isn't the Alec pulses close together?
Actually,
Like-
that's an interesting thing to bring out. That's a valid concern normally, but with the patch, so normally there is the shuffling algorithm that that Battle Network uses doesn't work as well as they intended. So chips that you place earlier on your folder have, I think, 10 or something, 10 or 12% chance to appear earlier. But one of the things that are added by the patch that Lucky made is this doesn't actually affect it anymore. So he fixed the shuffling algorithm, so the order that you place your chips in doesn't really affect how quickly you get them. Just one interesting thing to point out about the changes in this format.
Alright, remind me when I find Lucky to destroy him, because that was a great part of the algorithm. But for now, I'm going to admire that he does have Destroy Pulse. It just took me a moment to notice.
Yes.
So, I think that's the first PA so far.
Yeah, I believe so.
So we have Destroy Pulse, and we have OK Boomer, and we have Winrack. Oh, LM Sword, cool. If he gets that with, well, both of them have an Element Map. So if there's any grass panels, that LM Sword is going to be deaf for Dustcross. Oh no, wait, Shadow isn't using Dustcross, so he's safe from that.
Yeah, so Shadow's running an interesting build. So he's one of the win conditions that he's trying to go for is getting that 2x Destroy Pulse or using Elec Pulse 2 alone or on grass. He also has, as you mentioned, the Element Sword, which is interesting tick you don't see often, but also Muramasa as well, and Anti-Sword. So he's also preparing for a mirror match where the opponent would be going to dust, so he has Element Sword, Muramasa to decross, and the Anti-Sword to protect him. So we'll see if Shadow is able to deny the Fire Sword or Muramasa from Soul.
That's so weird. Dustcross using Anti-Sword to protect himself. That's so weird. I don't want to live in this bizarre world. Let's go.
Alright, let's head to the match.
Yo, he got Anti-Sword first turn, and I have no idea how he did it.
It's one of the chips. It's the chip that
I know
has
it's right.
Yeah.
I'm just messing. Still, Shadow's running that J code right there.
Yeah, so one thing to point out about J code or chips that go for Elec Pulse combos as they're called is that usually are low on damage, so you're trying to go all in on your combos that rely on beast out. So if your opponent is able to deny either combos or beast out, then you can be very easily stopped.
Uh-oh.
Looks like Soul is going for /cross, trying to get that D-cross, but Symes has the judgment, so he's getting his area back, then has the anti-sword, so he might try to go for the bait, basically faking that he wants Soul to land charge shots, and then using his anti-sword at the end of turn.
This is funny. Normally, /cross will be backing away, but now Dustcross has to back up. Well, if he doesn't back up, he'll be cut down.
Okay, so it looks like Shadow went for the safer play, and we see that Destroy Pulse already, but he might decide against going for it because he doesn't have the perfect setup for it. So ideally you would want, so Soul was flashing, so you want something to pierce that flashing, the invis and then confirms Elec Pulse and Destroy Pulse.
Ooh, oh boy.
So that might be, if Soul's able to get in the chip charge, that's going to be 800 damage. Let's see if Shadow is able to mash fast enough.
Oh!
Just barely denying that damage.
That was close. Alright, he's still untouchable.
The Elec Pulse unfortunately missed, so Soul was protected from the Groundman.
That was very, very close. So close that he was mashing A. So his chips were used up.
Yeah, he was really just trying to mash. 800 damage would have been devastating to take this early into the game.
He has it again.
And now we see that Destroy Pulse, but it looks like Shadow is deciding against going into Beast Out. So usually people go into Beast Out to get that confirmed, but but going into Beast Out will also let your opponent know that you have it. So he's staying, so he's going to Tengu, which can do back B to pull the opponent in, which is also a good way to try to confirm pulses or destroy pulse in this case. And we also see the Windrak as well, which might get the D-Cross if Soul stays in Slash Cross.
Joey, thank you for showing that clip. Oh, you got him! Just at the last second.
But now that Magnum will connect and get the D-Cross.
This scares me.
Yeah. Now Shadow. Ooh. Didn't get out his recovery 300.
I forgot Shadow had shield.
Yeah, so shield is actually one of the things that Shadow likes to add in his photos. So it's always fun to see.
That show off. Like, the shield is great. It'll protect you from a lot of stuff. Yeah. Like Flash Bomb. And the bees.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Double point, so that could be base coming out, but that was risky honey. I think that would...
That might have been a little too early.
Yeah, I don't think that will connect, but unfortunately Soul was blind, so he couldn't really see. Yeah, that mostly missed. I think that got one hit in. Let's see if the back B... Oh, it looks like Soul didn't have any more chips to charge.
Every hit. Ah. She got machine gun. Yeah, it's a shame. He was blind, so he most likely couldn't see where he was.
Yeah. And now we see that custom HP bug, so that's... Do you go briefly through the bugs that Destroy Pulse gives?
Yeah, Destroy Pulse is devastating. Like, the Destroy Pulse is so powerful that even Status Bar can't protect you from it.
Yes. Yeah, so Destroy Pulse applies very long blind paralysis that goes through Destroy Pulse, as you mentioned, custom HP bug and HP bug, so very strong combination of bugs. And you see that Judgment missing, and it was too early, so unfortunately didn't give Soul there back. Nice! We see that 2x on grass panels, which you don't really see often, removing the life aura.
Ah, yeah, electricity does time to... Yo, that's so weird!
Nice, so it's very well played.
It's such a weird concept, I'm not used to it.
So now we still see their HP is very close, and Soul still has his Giga, still has base up, so Shadow has to be very careful on the order that he wants to use his chips. Nice, using the anti-damage while still flashing to deny TFC. Unfortunately the D-Cross is going to miss, but the Elect Pulse is going to be confirmed afterwards.
Oh!
Nice.
He pushed him onto the grass panels for that!
But now no anti-damage. We see that.
Fire does not use grass, it's weird.
Ooh, and
drop the base!
Is that going to connect? That does. Is it enough though? Down to 1 HP. Single buster shot.
Just a little too early. Oh no! Oh boy.
Ooh.
He needs. Oh my god. He needs some sort of invisible.
But we see
something.
Shadow's going for the Muramasa afterwards, so that will give Soul flashing, which would give him time to maybe get in a buster shot at the very end. The raceman misses. Invis coming out as well, so that's going to be very difficult for Shadow to connect, yeah.
Ah!
To heading into game 2. Ooh, and we see starting with grass panels, so that's going to help set up for the element sword or the 2x with Alec.
Yo, seeing element sword getting some use is cool.
Ooh, starting with that green Invis.
Yo, completely invincible to everything except for anti-recovery.
And now we see the anti-damage unfortunately going
Slap.
away. And now waiting for him to come on the grass, yeah. That was an easy connect.
Ah, that's gonna miss. Oh no, wait, the second hit.
Second hit. But that gives Shadow... Ooh, I think the Invis ended at the very end of the turn actually. And Shadow has color bug level 1, which is why his green invulnerability ended earlier.
All that HP gone so fast.
Yes. Shadow's already more than 1000 HP ahead. Ooh, and the Windrak missed. Nice dodge. Though the second one connects into a Muramasa.
That was 1000 damage. Oh my gosh.
Shadow had the anti-sword, unfortunately couldn't quite get it out in time.
Well, so much for the difference in HP. He just did 1000 damage with that hit.
Yeah.
That's exactly why Muramasa's scary.
Though now we see Shadow has the Grandman, so he's going to try to get the D-Cross with that. See if it connects. Ooh, life aura denying it. Actually, that's going to be better off because Shadow doesn't have any way to deal with life aura this turn, I believe, yeah. And using the anti-damage a bit to... Ooh, nice!
Oh!
I was going to say he would lose that to the chip charge, but looks like he managed to barely avoid that with movement. See? Ah.
Damn.
And still doesn't have the pieces for destroy pulse. So the panel, the area is grass, so he is setting up for it very well. The grab vanish comes out, so that's going to pierce the flashing and deal with the bit of damage.
That's a lot of damage. Whoop.
Unfortunately, the judgment misses, but at least the area will come back. Although Shadow doesn't really have to worry about the Q-Force, so he could have waited a bit more than that. Ooh, but now we see the Destroy Pulse. Unfortunately, he isn't able to set up for it with Elec Pulse 1 for Elec Pulse 3, I mean. But he does have him ready, so if he just matches, then that could be 800 damage just in one chip.
Oh my gosh! Get off the grass panel! Did you read the sign?
Getting the revenge for the 2x Muramasa with the 2x Destroy Pulse. Let's see if that connects.
Oh my god!
Ooh, and it does connect. The blind denied him, and now missing the race man as well. Magnum will connect. Ooh, doesn't. But at least now Soul is able to camp at the top panels to hide from buster shots. Ooh. And now we see the HP sticking down. If he goes down to 1 HP, that means a single buster shot will be enough for game. Which looks like he does. Yeah.
Yeah, that Destroy Pulse really sucks.
So now Shadow is going into Beast out, so he just needs to hold B, which will bring out very quick buster shots. And he does have the option to TFC with Judgment or use Elec Pulse, which pierces through Invis. So he's very much set on winning the game. Soul might go into Beast over though, and with base still in hand, that could be a lot of damage.
That's true. Yep, he's going for it.
Ooh, see,
Oh!
double point. And base does come out,
Oh!
but Shadow knew it was coming. He was camping on his horse, which means that unfortunately base will completely miss. And I believe Magnum will miss as well.
That was a very smart play.
Yeah, now Shadow's more than happy to take the few buster shots from Soul. He has all the HP lead and Soul doesn't really have much to do now. He might, I don't think he even has beads, so he can't match that to try to protect him from anything that Shadow would use.
Less than basement.
Yeah, actually...
Oh no! The book! The book!
Book finishing up the game.
The book! Death by learning.
Now we're heading into game 3 again with the grass panels. That's very lucky start on Shadow's part.
Oh wow, and there's also the statues. Honestly, I don't think I've seen a death by book.
Yeah, that is very uncommon to see.
Like just one book. I'm not a bunch of books. One book.
That's almost at the same level as losing to an area grab.
Yeah, that hurts.
Ooh.
Slash cross. Oh, it would be a good idea to get rid of those statues. Oh, never mind. Oh wait, he has to make a choice. If he hits some, he'll activate that.
Ooh, the anti-damage will protect against the 2x from the Judgment.
That's so weird.
If Shadow steps back, then he can get force Soul to take the free 200 damage from the Guardian. So he does have the wind drag, so he might be going for the D-cross. I think that Tingu is going to miss both of the Guardians, so there's no issue on that yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Close one. Slap!
Drag. Let's see if Shadow waits to give the 2x on other post. Looks like he does.
2x! Yo, so many area grabs. Stop touching it!
Yeah, now Shadow can just camp and...
no!
Yeah, force Soul to take the 200 damage.
Oh, there you go. Buckles. Just with the doctor order.
And we see Judge Man, Ground Man as well, so Shadow has a lot of plays going into this stand.
Going for it.
Judgment trade, so
I'm
Soul
Judge Man.
do more damage with his Judgment.
Better Judgment versus regular Judgment. Ah, paralyzed for everybody. Watch out! What?
Nice. And the D-cross.
Ah! Double damage!
And he misses the Guardian as well.
Wow, how lucky that he's Guardian.
Now we see Shadow with the anti-sword up, so he's ready for more Massa if that would come. And he has components for Elect Beast combos, so he can do Elect Pulse 2 into Wind Drag, into Elect Pulse to finish off the game.
That's not fair. Slap, boom, slap, boom. Yeah, you're right, he has it.
So he might be okay, so he's going for that Muramasa then.
Man, he's gonna style? Oh man, he's going for style.
Soul can still deal a lot of damage if he gets base 2x or anything like that, yeah. So it's by no means game. Ooh.
Ah,
See, denied double point. He's coming out into grab banish. Ooh, that
boy.
Punisher will hit. Let's see if the Master connects, and it does. That will finish off the game into the match as well.
Oh, that was crazy. So much damage, so little time.
And we saw how the high HP builds from Symes first and now Shadow doing a lot of works. People are not prepared for that much HP.
For anybody who says Brown Network is a kid's game, you saw it right here. You saw the blood and violence that we're enjoying. So remember that. Brown Network isn't just for kids, it's for everybody. Oh boy. Who's up next, Zero?
Alright, so next we have Enduring Grey vs luckytyphlosion.
Lucky? He's the one running. He's the one who made this tournament. That's not fair.
He is indeed.
Well, he's running 2 gigas, so I guess it's fine. Wait, 2 gigas?
Yeah, so this is the first match we see with Lucky, and we see he's running that double giga build with Bug the Thunder and Hub Batch.
Wow, he's running 2 gigas with 2 slow gauge, 2 recover. Yo, this match is gonna be a fun camping trip, guys.
Yeah, so one interesting thing is that because of how Elecna works with grass panels, so if you have grass panels, for example, Wood Dragon that we see Lucky's running 2 of, then as soon as the Bug the Thunder object goes over it, that will remove the grass panel, so it can be difficult to try to set up for 2X's that way. But Bug the Thunder Hub Batch, so the build is still very oppressive and very strong.
Yeah, the best part is he's prepared. He has the hub batch.
Yeah.
Just in case he gets uninstalled too. So he's prepared for basically almost any situation that could happen to him.
Yeah, I think the main change compared to the normal build is that there will be no bubbles from Lucky, because now he has the Wood Dragons to decross charge, which is one of the very commonly used counters to stop Bug the Thunder.
Well, here's gonna be fun. Base has to deal with 2 gigas this time, so trying to see if Ray can beat the Pokemon. Let's go!
Alright, let's head right into the match. Ooh, that's quite the starting hand. So we see Enduring Grey already started with double point, plus 30 and the static. But unfortunately no uninstall, so he wouldn't be able to confirm all of the hits from static.
Wow, what kind of nonsense is that?
So
I really hate static. Static hurts.
yeah, so one thing, so Enduring Grey is playing against Bug the Thunder, which I don't think they've played against very commonly. And Bug the Thunder has, it's not really specific, but because of how oppressive it can be, you want to try to deny your opponent from getting it as much as possible. And Lucky will want to go for SoulXCross to allow him to dig through his build. So that means we're going to see full cast coming out straight away to allow him to go through as much further as possible to find it more quickly, which means that as Enduring Grey you actually want to hold on to your full cast. You want to keep that until later in the game where you'll be you have the advantage and you stop your opponent from getting an advantage from extra dusting basically.
It's really rough to fight against Black Death Thunder if you're not prepared. Also, getting hit by an ice cube, I want that. It's hot. Element Man!
That will go into grass, which I'm not sure if that is the one that Enduring Grey wanted to go for. And we see that full cast.
Yo, those fractures, man. Well, this is good for Lucky. That focus, the focus really helps with SoulXCross.
Yeah. Okay, so Enduring Grey is saying in chat that he meant the grass so he doesn't have to deal with ice panels. which is fair. But now we see the setup for Windrak to come out from Lucky. Though it looks like Jungray had the TFC. Ooh, but lost it. Yeah.
That backhanded deep cross, man. I don't know why. I feel like getting deep cross by Windrak just hurts more.
Yeah, and especially now with SoulXCross being more easily decrossed by a Windrak.
Yeah, it's funny. Tengu used to fear the Slash. Now Slash must fear the Tengu. Oh boy! If this all hits, this is gonna be quite the trip.
Yeah, but we do see that Lucky has a lot of defense, has the life power and anti-damage up, so it might be difficult to try to connect with everything.
Can he do it though? Come on, Ray, I have faith in you. There's no such thing as a lucky typhlosion. So, prove him wrong. Oh, well, you got it already.
You see Bug the Thunder come out, though that might be a good thing actually. Yeah. And the static is going to miss.
But if he had waited just a second longer.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. Grab will come out to remove the anti-damage. Now, Jungray doesn't have the space to try to avoid.
This is gonna. I can't watch.
So now, the double point is going to be denied. Base is denied because of the whole stats air spin. I mean, is also getting denied. So Jungray really doesn't have all that many options. It's looking very rough already.
And this turn is taking forever, making me double scared. What is Lucky planning? What is he? Oh boy, they are really thinking. Alright, okay. I'll ask a question, if you can answer it, you get 1,000 Zen. What is my favorite battle chip?
Dark Thunder.
No, you lose.
I mean, I was trying to think of any dark chips. That was the first one that came to mind.
In Battle Network, it's 6. Like, not... Yeah. Come on. Very easy.
Very easy. Is it Gandalf?
No!
Okay, so maybe I shouldn't cheat then.
Cheater. Nah, it's Tank Cannon 3.
Oh, okay. Why is that your favorite chip?
Because it's powerful, it knocks you back, and it breaks panels.
Okay, that's fair. It is very interesting chip.
Yeah, there you go. Joey knows. I don't know if you want to fast forward a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, Tank Cannon. Joey knows me.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a bit.
No, there you go.
Okay, it should be ending soon.
Colonel's Cannon doesn't break the panels. It's not a strong. There it comes.
Okay, let's see if.
Well, the good part is.
And decross uninstalled. That was really unfortunate.
Yo, Lucky, back up. Have you ever heard of social distancing? Not close.
And now all of these chips were denied.
Suka, it is live. We're just factoring this in, even when it's live. Yeah. All this is factored in. We are that great.
Now looks like Enduring Grade doesn't really have all that many options, deciding to stay in Baseman, though we still haven't seen the slow gauge coming out from Lucky. Yeah, that's it.
Whoa! Wow.
So this is going to be very rough for Enduring Grade with basically no answers.
Nope, he's already gone. He's gone.
And that misses. At least if Enduring Grade is able to get in the charger, that would interrupt the charger. Yeah, that was a very rough match in general for Enduring Grade.
Here we go. It is really difficult to, without preparation, fighting against Bug Thunder stuff. Because every shot is 200 damage.
Yeah. And now though we see that uninstall, one of the main counters for Bug Death Thunder, and we see air grab into the full static combo that connects that could be very big. We'll see if Lucky goes straight into the next stand. The full area is denied and we see an anti-damage up. Oh wow! That killed the Ooh, nice!
He did it! The madman did it!
Nice. Gambling on that, being an anti-nav and getting the maximum hits with the uninstall airspin, which you very rarely see. That was nice.
I love that. Nothing gives me more hype than that. Wow. I guess catching the Sun Moon PA is also pretty hype. But still, that was awesome.
Yeah, doing almost 700 damage in one turn. That was a very big swing.
Yo, but getting continuously on the saw like that. The biggest new meaning to the phrase "spin to win," and he's got more.
Yeah, though he does have the Grand Man SP in hand, so he might decide to keep that just to try to get in more damage. Ooh.
That uninstall graphic, yes it is. It's even more fun when you put it on a PA, which is possible with the V-Stick. But that'll be a different time. Whoop!
So it looks like Lucky's deciding to stay in.
Oh no, he forgot he had rush!
Ooh, and this is the area for getting hit by a wind trap, so let's see if Lucky does have it. And had uninstall as well. The airspin does connect though. Ooh!
Airspin! Double airspin!
The double airspin. Unfortunately, static missed. If static had connected, that would have been game. But both airspins. Ooh.
Spin to win! Woo! That was epic! Oh my gosh! I almost fell off my chair. That was so great.
Yeah, and the timing on that is actually very difficult to get because the airspin 1 goes away very quickly, so you need to have very good timing to try to get in both of them before it ends.
Ray is my new hero. He is my new hero. He's pulling off what I can't do. And that makes me so angry, so I'm gonna destroy him after this. So that was so good, man. Double spin to win. Only possible if the opponent does not have super armor. I mean, it's possible if you attach a white capsule, but still, that's awesome.
Yeah, and another thing to point out is that Lucky is in Dustcross, and airspin counts as an object. So if Lucky was able to react in time, using back, we would have actually taken the object. So
wait, but
yeah,
doesn't that count as an action? Wouldn't it get countered?
It wouldn't be a counter, but I think the animation might be cancelled. So it depends if Lucky was able to react to it fast enough, because you can take it while it's still being thrown.
Ah, okay. I wasn't sure if you can take an object while getting hit like dropped the
Ooh,
base!
and now ending with the base. Nice.
Bam! Big F. Big F for the chat, people. Because base comes in F.
Hopefully Soul was still in stream. If he left, then we would have just missed out on that base finish.
Dang you, Soul, where are you? Stop leaving me. There you are, okay.
Alright, it's almost the base finish. Okay.
Ray is my hero, yo. I'm gonna name my kid Enduring Ray. Amazing. See, he's making me and Soul very happy, using air spin combo and using base. Yo, that fat Lucky. Oh boy. Rocks. Rocks. Why they gotta be rocks? Wait, will he freeze them?
Nice, yeah.
Bubbles in.
So might be able to get in a charge shot for 2x. That looks like that's what it's going for.
Wait, oh yeah, charge cross counts as a pseudo break, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
That wasn't changed for this.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was the fire doing the damage to the aqua. But, oh yeah, you don't count as aqua when frozen.
Yeah. Unfortunate, the area grab was denied, but we do see the full cast coming out from Lucky. Dude, that mashing, getting out all of these chips, he still has, I think that was ground man SP as the last trip.
Yeah, like he wants to hold on to that. Although unfortunately his hand doesn't look that good. Like he has the air spins, but he doesn't have a way to, he doesn't have honest.
Yeah, and actually with warp step, Lucky would be able to avoid the air spin combo more easily because we just take one step forward to avoid the whole thing.
Yeah, he likes the area grab for that.
So Enduring Grey might be able to get in a charge shot, so we'll be down to game footsie trying to get in against the warp step.
Next hit, no, charge cross, charge shot is fire pseudo break. Like the charge shot does not decross.
Slash, or
yeah.
in this format, right.
Yeah.
So it looks like Alec will connect. Is that going to give enough time for a charge shot? Barely missing.
Like, well, we call it pseudo break because it goes through guards, but it lacks the actual breaking property.
Yeah.
You can tell it has a breaking property if it does ×2 damage to sword. He's got him in the optimal. Yes. Unless Lucky has anti-damage or invisible.
Yeah, so if Lucky has defense or even a Judgment, I don't think we've seen both Judgments coming out from Lucky. So if Lucky is able to deny the area grab, then that combo will be stopped. Ooh,
okay, that's not gonna stop him.
Yeah.
Ah! Countered! He crossed! Countered! Ah! Too much fun! And he's got the dog on him! How much of a bad day can you have?
Yeah, though unfortunately that wasn't quite the full combo. The Windrack D-Cross comes out with 2x, so that dealt 4x damage in total.
Yo, what is up with these matches? Continuous back and forth. Yo, Ray's a champ. Lucky's been around for a while. Like, this back and forth is amazing.
Yeah, now they're down to almost the same HP. We will see if Enduring Grey is able to deal that damage to finish off the game. Lucky needs to get Bug the Thunder or at least some of his other chips.
Yep.
Nice.
There goes the anti-damage.
Yeah.
Oh no!
But we do
He
see
also has
Rush.
the dog! They both have dogs!
Lucky still has more. Okay, so no more master from the CJ card. But that recovery.
You just
barely
missed that.
So now that will make the double point.
Oh, that
nice.
still hurt. Even for 2 hits, that still hurt.
And now, even though Lucky did use recoveries, they're down to the same HP. Enduring Grey is ahead by almost 100 HP. still is very close though. Let's see.
Is he gonna end with the base? Is the madman gonna do it?
Looks like Doing Great is staying, is deciding to not go into.
Oh, if he had base
Out.
first, I would have hit.
They
He walked into it!
That pierced the invis. Let's see, the base does connect, and that will finish up the game again.
Base! 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 More base! Base for everybody! That was
Second
good
time
timing.
in a row. That was quite the game.
Ah! My chair's broken! Oh, the house is falling apart! That was such a great finish!
Yeah,
Ray!
that was a really close game.
Yo, Lucky was very unfortunate that he was not able to get Buck Death Thunder that round. So Ray was indeed able to capitalize on that. But that was a great back and forth. Fantastic match. Only possible in the N1 GP. If you're not part of us, join us.
Yeah. So you can do actually N1 GP. So there should be a link in chat now where you can join the N1 GP Discord, where you'll get more information about our events or previous events. Unfortunately, now we're going to be taking a very short break, but we'll be coming back with more than half our matches left afterwards. So make sure you stay tuned. Okay, so apologies for that short break. Now we're back and ready to go into the next match, which will be Emden vs Meta Wolfie.
Are you sure?
I believe, yeah.
Very sure. I'm just kidding. Of course he's sure. Well, playerzero is the best.
Alright, so
Emden.
yeah, this is the first match we see Meta Wolfie playing so far, I believe. So if we can quickly go through his setup, which is indeed very interesting.
Good oldie.
Yeah, so we see another example of trying to get advantage of the new 2x weaknesses, but also having to apply that with the D crosses. So normally players would go into Tomahawk because it has status guard to prevent paralysis, but that wouldn't work now because Elec chips D cross Tomahawk. So you can do Elec Pulse into Bubble Star, and you can be quite sure that the Bubble Star will connect, which allow you to combo even more into Fire Burn or yeah, I think Fire Burn's the only fire chips to deal 2x damage.
It's interesting that how we're seeing more usage of the elemental swords. We saw flame sword earlier.
Yeah.
Now we have Elec sword. It's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting what this format is bringing out.
Yeah, exactly. And Elec sword works actually very well with the combos that E code allows you to do. So you can Elec Pulse into Bubble, into Fire Burn. You have a lot of different combinations that you can go for, which are always very fun to see with B-Stars, especially with Meta Wolfie being in Gregar, so he can go into Elec Cross to do plus 50 on each of them.
I have a headache from trying to keep track of these changes. It's really messing with my muscle memory.
Yeah.
Like, props to the players fighting in this format, despite the muscle memory of what the elements really are. Well, to Tennessee the match.
Alright, let's get right into it and see how it goes.
Woo! All that area. Oh wow.
Okay, so we already see Amden has 3 area grabs to start with, so that's perfect start for SoulXCross. So it looks like they might be deciding to go with Charge Cross instead to get that +1 custom.
That +1 is really good.
Yeah. Ooh, Meta Wolfie already going to B-Star, so we might be seeing a lot of the combos coming out, because B-Star is a very valuable resource for combo-based holders.
Oh
Okay.
boy, when he gets that one.
Nice.
Ah, D-Cross!
Gets
Ah!
the D cross as well, and sets up for Elixir. Nice.
Uninstalled. Yep. Although because Gregor has innate super armor, yeah, no flinching from that.
Yeah, and Meta Wolfie doesn't have air shoot, which is again an interesting build. So he isn't really affected by uninstall, except it's removing super armor, which B-Star doesn't affect him at all.
But he will feel it in 2 turns. He's gonna feel it.
Okay, now Amden's going into Elec Cross, which might be risky because we do see that Meta Wolfie is running 3 bubble stars with a lot of easy ways to combo that. So we do have the perfect area for static.
Oh,
Then
boy.
this comes out that will protect the anti-damage.
Oh no!
See if there's
He's
any
gonna
follow-up.
Nope,
Doesn't look like
just-
it. Beast Buster is still a lot of damage, so another thing that is very interesting to point out is that Meta Wolfie isn't running attack max, it's only running
Whoa.
attack +3. Which again you don't see very often in Gregar. Amden's already very low on HP, but there is still the potential. We've already seen Q Force, we've already seen all the static air spin combos dealing a lot of damage, so still anyone's game very easily.
Man, that fire graphic was so good. Oh, sort of. Elixir should not be double damage on the ground. Oh, here it comes. Wait, you can't use that. Oh, yeah. Now it can.
The Metal is playing a lot of defense, very difficult for Amden to go through. Ooh, goal stall. The element trap will unfortunately miss into Elixir, into another goal stall.
Oh man, that was a tough combo, and Wolfie still has 1600. That's a lot of defense right there.
But we do have Amden in Beast out, so if Q Force comes out, then it could still be game. Ooh, nice. The anti-damage removed it. That TFC, that will be game.
A death by grab revenge.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate.
That's alright, that was just round one. And then can still come back.
Yeah, and we already see very good potential with the starting chips. We do see uninstall with 2 statics. If uninstall connects, then that will very easily confirm the statics. So it looks like Amden's holding on to them for the air spin. Let's see if we can see that combo coming out again.
I'll not spoil what happened, but I suffered a lot. Yo, spoilers.
That's where you get the best comeback, so you never know.
Oh, honest! Yo, that glorious uninstall. Good job.
Yeah, but going into Beast out already, so that will deny the removal of Super Armor. Ooh, Elixir connects. Anything follow?
Whoa, watch out!
That was unfortunate, the bubble getting the D-cross for Metal Wolfie. But now we see the Element Trap. Metal Wolfie is running a lot of Elect chips, so having Element Trap dealing paralysis could interrupt his combos and give time for Amden to use his own defense. We see Metal Wolfie going to Heat Cross, so we might be seeing the Fire Burns 3. Judgment comes out, so that will trigger the anti-element. Yeah, so that will be 3 anti-damage connecting. Moondrake into Bubble. Yeah, we do see that dealing with 3x.
Those combos, man. Keep blinking. Wolfie's not holding back. Jeez, man.
We see the air spin combo with the area to confirm him, but let's see what Metal Wolfie has to say for that. Last game we saw he had a lot of defense coming out. Is he going to keep up with the defense this game or going for more offensive plays? One turn could be the difference between winning and losing. We do see that life aura, though wouldn't stop static or air spin because they are wind chips. Nice! Ooh, barely missing out. That was the perfect area for the air spin to come out.
Yeah, but that timing sucks. He's gone!
But now we do see Q-Force. Q-Force still a lot of damage with this area. I think that would be more than 1k damage if it connects completely. But there are whole broken panels, so if Metal Wolfie is able to read the Q-Force coming and step up, then he will be able to deny most of it.
That's very, very sad that he missed that. But it's alright. There will be more chances.
Indeed, there's still this game, and maybe next game Camden's able to get that Q-Force to connect. Ooh.
He got him!
The Erase Man will connect, but unfortunately most Q-Force will miss, yeah. Ooh, nice.
Oh no.
The luck super armor caused most of that combo to miss. But their HP is still very close. Now Camden has the chance to cross cancel and go into his own combos with machine gun, since Metal Wolfie doesn't have super armor anymore, so machine gun will combo very easily into other stuff. So it looks like MJ might be going for the chip charge with the bubble status, which would be more than enough damage to bring Metal Wolfie down to 1 HP. Metal Wolfie could be going into Beast Overdose, that's always something you need to watch out for. So it looks like that is going to happen this turn. Ah, the bubble's denied by the Invis. Anti-damage will protect from that grab revenge.
Just a little too early. He's still not there though.
Yeah, so during the anti-damage animation you leave the field, so that causes attacks to miss. Nice, good. Second one, not quite.
The lack of super armor really does hurt.
Yeah, now Camden has the option to finish the game with Ground Mana speed, so it looks like it's going for the more defensive play with the life aura. Let's see.
Whoa!
Ooh, nice, denying that Q-Force. Let's see if another Windrock's coming. Doesn't look like it.
Slap!
Nice! Windrock connecting, bringing Camden back ahead on HP. But now Beast Out is over for both of them. Let's see if either of them decide to go for the Beast Over.
This is so close! I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna explode from anticipation. Beast over.
See if the Windrock connects, or if there's some way to remove that life, or looks like Elements Mana SP, but that's going to be a random which one pans out for. Two of them will miss.
Ah, had to be the one that would miss.
Yeah, none of the other chips are enough damage, and there's just holding on to his chips, waiting for that Beast Over to end, and now he has all the time he needs.
Yep.
So it could still be game for Metal Wolf if he had Windrock follow up with Elect Pulse or any other chip that would paralyze or stats chain, and then the TFC chain, nice.
It's been a real slice.
And
Yo!
Flash finishing off.
Sliced, man.
Now
That was close.
Game 3, yeah, that was a very close game. Metal Wolf, he could have tried to keep on his Invis because he would have gone into 1 HP anyway. So Invis would have allowed him to live a bit longer, but I don't think he had much to do after that, so that would have been game eventually, unfortunately.
These games are so close, man. I'm loving everything about this. The third match will make everyone... Yo, stop spoiling it. You spoil it again, I'm gonna make Zero pay. Let's go.
Alright, we're heading into game 3.
Everyone's very close.
And then stepping forward to deny the area grab from Metal Wolfie, but also having his own area grab.
Oh no, this is gonna miss.
Actually, the Element Man from Metal Wolfie is going to connect if he's able to get that, which will trigger the anti-element. So this is... Ooh, unfortunately missed the D-cross. but that was still a good play. And we might be seeing chip charge swords from Metal. Yeah,
Oh!
that was the play.
You know, I kind of forget that SoulXCross can do that, because I don't see many people doing that. I totally forget he can charge sword chips to launch him.
Yeah, so that's actually something you rarely see used, because usually you want to try to get in damage from a charge shot with the plus area. Otherwise, you don't really want to go to slash and risk getting defrost early.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Looks like Metal has the defense, which will protect him from getting immediately defrost. So he's going for grass, so he might have electric chips to follow up with.
Oh no!
Judgment unfortunately missing, though that will give him some of his area back. Anti-damage gone, and yeah, that will give the defrost. Ooh, nice smashing.
No! Judgment! He's dead. As long as he's there, the area will not go back. But if he uses that area grab, he gets all the area back again.
Yeah, and not only that, that will also give him some of the holy panels, which could be big for Andem to have all the combos that Metal would go for.
Yeah, that's gonna make killing him even more difficult when everything is half damage.
And especially combo folders are usually very low on damage, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. Ooh, you already see that ball star. Let's see. Defense coming out. Anti-damage must see the end as well. Ooh, nice movement. That was a good choice deciding to keep on the end because Elec Pulse would have pierced through that.
Yo, touching each other is bad.
Yeah, and unfortunately the movement bug ended up breaking all the holy panels and will limit the potential for Q-Force, especially on holy panels for Metal Wolfie.
Oh man!
Oh no!
I forgot about B!
Ah, that was really unfortunate. Then the grab was forgetting about beats, really, especially with Column Force, because you don't have any way of using that in a DFC, so losing that is really unfortunate. Oh wow.
Well that stinks. Well, alright, at least he can get rid of the holy panels now. Oh no! He did it back!
That was a lot of damage. The erasement does connect at least. Seems to machine gun. Then the end of turn.
He has to get rid of those holy panels, or else the damage is just not gonna add up.
Yeah, but he's also worried about taking all that damage, especially if Metal decides to go into Beast Over, which would be a very interesting play. If he has the combos, then he might be able to justify it, because although his HP will drain very quickly, he has some HP buffer, so he would be able to survive for a bit before he goes down to 1 HP.
That is true. He has the HP to survive being drained.
You looked for a second, what happened? Q-Force happened, dealing a lot of damage, yeah. The element one's coming out, that will... Oh no, and the shots! Unfortunately, so that will finish off the game.
Oh, damn. That was rough, man. Like, Curdle Force, back-to-back Curdle Force. It's crazy. Like, no you. He literally pulled a no you.
Yeah, and losing that Q-Force to beat, that was really painful. You always need to watch out for beats. But yeah, that was well played to both sides. That was a fun game to watch, and Alright, now we'll be heading into the next match, which will be MOON vs Enduring Grey. Okay, so if we start, I think we've already seen both of them playing, but we haven't. We should look briefly at how the matchup will play. So both of them are using G code as their main code, but we see the difference is that Enduring Grey is deciding to go with the 3 statics and 3 air spin, while MOON is just going for the 3 static and trying to get in with a lot of the area grabs to do damage through hub badge or some of the other splash chips, like trying to get in with Geddon, bubble stars, 4 machine guns. And yeah, looking at their Navicost, it's actually very similar as people are mentioning in chat. They have almost the same Navicost, but Enduring Grey decided to go for attack max, charge max instead of the HP 500 IMASUKA is going for.
Yes, IMASUKA has a good amount of HP, and of course the air shoes, which hopefully, even though they both have air shoes, it's gonna be bad to whoever get. It's gonna be down to whoever gets uninstalled first. Although Suka does have hub matches, which is gonna be fun.
Alright, well, let's head right into the match then.
Hold on. I gotta tie my shoes first. You know, all these matches are pretty crazy. Okay, already. Wait, Ray, why are you battling in the bathroom?
Okay.
You should not be net battling in the bathroom. I highly suggest you're on, or in the living room, or outside. Bubble fires? That sounds horrible. Can you imagine that? A bubble that will get you on fire? Oh wow.
Ooh, and we see MOON is already starting with that green invulnerability and has that machine gun ready. Ooh.
Oh no!
I think that was actually intentional, because that will allow MOON to keep all the chips in hand. Okay, let's see how Enduring Grey decides to deal with that machine gun coming his way. If no invis or life aura is coming out, or actually any way to interrupt it. So another way is grab revenge or grab banish. Ooh, nice movement, though unfortunately ends up getting clipped at the end. Nice, dodging that bubble at the end.
Yo, strongman here, just walking through lava like it's nothing. I want to be that tough.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely nothing can pierce that green doors. It's the best.
Yeah, and one thing to mention about these lava pounds is that they don't deal fire damage. They actually deal null damage, which is an interesting choice that they decide to go for.
It's probably a good choice, because can you imagine getting defrost by that, by something beyond your control?
Yeah. Ooh,
oh boy.
The ground minus SP will connect. Let's see if MOON decides to keep that for anger. Looks like they mashed through it, so we won't be seeing the anger.
Yeah, I'd be angry if that happened.
And we do see that machine gun uninstall. Enduring Grey does have crack panel bug, so getting uninstalled could be very bad.
Yes, that's what happens when you get fat. When you move up the panels, it's flat. So remember, kids, net battle keeps you in great shape.
Yeah, poor Enduring Grey doesn't even have the HP to be fat.
It's all muscle then. Whoa. Oh, he's got the uninstall marker. Oh, he got him!
Ooh, nice. And getting in 4 hits, I believe.
Alright, like he wants to catch him with the wood. Oh no,
Yeah.
okay. It'll just put him. It'll just light him on fire.
Unfortunately, that broken panel would deny going forward.
Whoa! That HP bug is looking pretty bad. One problem having so many bugs is the HP bug. It just hurts.
Yeah. HP bug is one of the things that people don't account for very often, but if it starts adding up, then it can be a lot of damage.
Yeah, someone who runs a lot of HP, I usually have a lot of bugs to go along. Whoa!
Is that going to connect?
Ah!
Nice.
That curve, man. That drift.
Now MOON's having that HP lead.
That sweet, delicious HP.
And they are holding on to the fast gauge because of the advantage. So seeing that Enduring Grey is uninstalled, so keeping on to fast gauge for the turns that you will need it, because now trying to get in as much advantage as you can.
Yeah, as playerzero said, it is more to his advantage to not have to. This is why he's gonna hold on.
Nice. Now this will both break panels and flinch, so it can be a very good way to apply pressure.
Watch out!
Let's see if the back B is going to take that. Oh, fortunately, that might have been a missed input or just delay in the reaction.
Get in? Okay.
Ooh, we could see Gideon and Habash coming out. Habash would give attack and charge max, which would be a lot of damage.
It would, but he's probably saving it for when he is uninstalled. It would be really bad if he lost his air shoes.
Yeah, that is a good point.
No! Too high! Wow, that enrichment was so strong, it froze the game. There you go.
Ooh, nice. And then started connecting those.
Ah!
Ooh!
That hit all of it.
That dealt with the life orb. Unfortunately, wasn't quite enough damage to bring down the HP.
That HP bug is so high, wow! He's losing HP so fast.
Yeah, I believe at maximum HP bug, or HP and damage bug, you can get up to 1 HP per 6 frames, which is the same as Anubis.
Holy Christmas.
Yeah, and static guarantees maxing out the damage bug. Yeah, so it's a very dangerous weapon. Ooh, and we see it decrossing down to 1 HP. Machine gun.
He shot him. Okay, I heard it in biz, so he's most likely invisible now.
Oh, nice catch. So yeah, Invis is the only start from color bug that has a tell actually, where before the custom screen comes out, you can hear an audio cue. So that was a very nice catch that I managed to listen to it.
Yes, you can hear it if you listen very, very close.
So it looks like MOON's is starting with Invis to get rid of the rush that Enduring Grey has. Okay, so they decided to TFC that instead, keeping their Invis. Ooh, let's see if Tenguman. Okay, so they are looking at it to consider using that instead of looking for a wind track maybe. Okay, so holding on to uninstall maybe for an easier confirm. Ooh, nice, using the 2x from Judgeman to remove that life aura. Then Tengu into Judgeman. Ooh, well now
Okay.
getting hit by that same 2x.
Slap, slap.
And Earthman and static, nice! And that was all with the white capsule.
White capsule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, all this air spin, man. I don't remember it getting so popular. There it is. It's here. That uninstall, the delicious uninstall. You can never go wrong with uninstall.
Yeah, and it is combined with the static, so that will immediately max out on the damage bug.
I'm still waiting for Lucky to make reverse uninstall that adds program.
Yeah. That would be quite something to see. Ooh, and let's see, and the D cross as well, nice. Getting the 2x damage.
Getting burned on the bubble. Yo, he's already maxed out on the bug, as you said.
Yeah. Now
That's crazy.
what reverse weakness actually did is that it buffed fire chips, because fire chips now burn even through water. That's how strong they are. Even through bubble, they still do the 2x damage.
I do not want to live in this world. Lucky, what have you done?
And you can look at both sides, compare the HP drain from IMASUKA vs Enduring Grey. You can very clearly see the difference. And it very much does add up. Ooh.
Unfortunately, that air spin hit, yeah. Burn.
One thing to note is that HP bug doesn't count toward damage judge. So if we see any of these games going to that, then that could be a very big decider of who wins damage judge.
Oh yeah, could you imagine the HP bug doing 1000 damage, but you lose some damage because
Yeah.
of that?
Which is very interesting thing to think about, because you losing HP by damage bug makes it more likely for you to win by damage judge, because your opponent has less HP to damage you with. But now, ooh, the invis will protect from that machine gun spam. That would have been a lot of damage. The rush is getting triggered. This isn't the optimal area for machine gun, but that will still be a good number of hits. Ooh, double point coming out. We're seeing, ooh, at the very end.
He was flinching too much. What chip does he have?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Could be static, could be base. Doesn't have all that many options left now. But IMASUKA does have the defense with Invis and Life Aura. Or maybe deciding to follow up with the statics to try to finish off the game.
It could be that base. Come on, drop it, Ray.
Ooh, no, that will miss because it only targets opponent's area.
Oh boy.
That would have been game. And then static will finish off.
That would have killed him. Wow, that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, if Enduring Grey decided to cross cancel there, then that would have ended the flinching, and that might have been enough with mashing. That might have been fast enough to land that base, but unfortunately, not quite. That was a very close game.
Oh boy. Good try, Ray.
Yeah, that was a very good
fun.
match.
But don't worry, folks. We still got more.
Alright, heading into the next match is luckytyphlosion vs Mden.
Mden, Megaden, like M-Boomer or M-Cannon. Wait, if there's Mden, is there a Hyden?
Asking the important questions.
It's time to see what sort of shenanigans we're gonna see here, because as we've seen before, Lucky's running the twin Pikachu.
Yeah, so
and then
yeah.
No.
We've already seen Enduring Grey play vs luckytyphlosion, and Enduring Grey is playing a somewhat similar build to Mden, with both of them having the statics and the air spin. But we do see that Mden's running Q-Force instead of base, so maybe base is going to be the thing that makes all the difference, or maybe not. I guess we're going to find out.
I'm scared. My chair can't take much more falling.
Alright,
But
well,
it's gonna have to because it's time to start the match.
alright, let's head into it. We still have more matches, so that chair better still keep holding on.
Please hold on, chair. We still got more matches.
Okay, so we see Lucky's starting with that bug fix already. Which is interesting because so Lucky doesn't have custom bug, yeah. Lucky only has warp step, so deciding to keep that bug fix could be a play that Lucky goes for because it allows him to more easily deny area grabs or to avoid static into air spin combos. So we're going to see if Lucky uses the bug fix early to just go through it, or hold on to it as defensive play.
You know, I really love that he gets bug fix first turn, but I never get it first turn. It's not fair.
Yeah, it's all the luck of the draw. Believe in the heart of the card, the heart of the chip.
Ah, you're right. Double area grab. Oh wait, no.
Ooh.
We're going area grab for an anti.
Ooh, nice. That was mistimed from Lucky.
Back to back. Whichever anti that was, it's not anti-Navi, which I don't think anyone's running actually. Well, actually, no, one person was running.
I think Lucky is actually running anti-Navi.
Oh, you're right. He's running one anti-Navi. Oh yeah, you can only have one. There it is. No, he's throwing it all away. Oh no, wait, he wants to get bucked up.
Yeah, so he's trying to go through his folder as quickly as possible. Though we do see that machine gun, even though it wouldn't uninstall, it wouldn't decross, it still removes the anti-damage that Lucky has. So he wants to try to avoid that or get some defense.
Delicious defense.
Oh, looks like he already lost the trap from last time.
Yo,
Right now,
Lucky,
the element
back up,
crash.
man.
Ooh, that is going to remove the anti-damage. Though unfortunately no decross.
Oh wow, that saved him.
Keeping dust cross is very important for Lucky because he only has custom 6, so he really wants to go through his folder.
There it is.
Find it, yeah, that's the one.
It's always funny how the picture has an enemy that we'll never see in the games.
Yeah, it's just because I think that character appears in the manga, which I've never read before, so I was always wondering who it is.
Oh no, Joey. Sword does not remove aura. They kept it win for balance purposes. Can you imagine if you guys actually made sword remove aura?
Yeah, I think that would make Tengu a bit too weak. So Lucky's trying to think about the order of chips, or if he decides to cross cancel, because charge cross is one of the best ways to deny Bug the Thunder, and he would want to get decross before using Bug the Thunder. So it looks like he's going for Bug the Thunder just to apply the pressure at the beginning, then maybe taking the Wood Dragon next turn.
I'm starting up a fire trip now.
Ooh, that's going to miss, I believe, because of flashing. So decide to go for a leg. Nice. Ah, that was the broken panel. That was unfortunate.
Shouldn't have done those to him.
Okay, so it looks like Lucky's deciding to keep his hand instead of going for something that might decross charge. Ooh. Though, actually,
Oh!
nice.
No, good job.
That wasn't the full combo, but that was still good. Though actually, now that I mentioned it, I don't think Amden knows about playing against Bug the Thunder. This might be the first match they have against it. So yeah, the way that the charge shot from SoulXCross works is that it gives you invulnerability frames, but also allows you to collide through objects or things basically, and you can use that to hit Bug the Thunder directly, which will remove it without it dealing damage to you. So I'm not sure if Amden knows about that already to be able to utilize that.
Yeah, that's why if you're using Bug the Thunder, you have to make sure that you get rid of SoulXCross ASAP.
See that life aura isn't as effective against Bug the Thunder, but let's see if Amden's able to move around it. Ooh. Looks like
he tried using it.
yeah. Looks like we're
Using
stuck.
that one is tough.
Yeah, it has very long lag and it can very easily miss. Ooh, nice element trap. Well, let's see. Ooh.
Oh, that was very close.
Very nice dodge. Though unfortunately at the very end, Bug the Thunder will connect. And now Lucky's going for his second Wood Dragon, but this time with the uninstall, which will remove air shoes. Without air shoes, it's going to be very difficult for Amden to maneuver, and it looks like this will confirm that Dragon to connect. Yeah.
That hurt.
Nice. Using bubble to try to interrupt the charge, slow it down.
Boom.
Now Amden's going to be very careful to try to move around these broken panels, these traps. Yeah, and that will confirm 2 Bug the Thunders connecting, dealing 400 damage just like that. Now Lucky's back to the HP lead. Looks like Lucky's going for Habbatch into chip charging his slow gauge, which will both break panels and deal damage. Oh, nice Q-Force, but no Buster Shots, and the final row was denied. So that wasn't quite enough. Let's see if Amden's able to finish off the game. Nice movement, avoiding that. But the Windrak locked him down, which will confirm that Judgment.
Oh no! Yep, that's game. I'm wondering why he didn't move to Buster when he was in Eternal Force.
I think the broken panel prevents him from moving out. He was locked in by these panels.
Right.
Wait, that was a very close match. Okay, so Joey asked earlier in chat about shouldn't have slash decross because because dust cross takes 2x damage to slash, so did that be over 200? And the answer for that is that 2x only applies after if it hits directly. So if it's blocked by anti-damage, invis, or barriers, stuff like that, then that would be denied.
Yep, that sums it up pretty much.
Ooh.
Yo, that warp step, man.
Yeah, and it's looking pretty bad for
Oh no!
Nice, that will connect.
Decrossed.
Though unfortunately all of the area was denied.
Well, you know, the good part is that he already got bug fixed, so he's safe. Not getting bug fixed would have been bad.
Yeah, so one of the things Lucky can decide to go for is actually try to get in with his charge shots, because that's one of the reasons why having Habat as an extra Giga is very good in Bug the Thunder. It gives you a lot of flexibility to let you change your basically change your game plan, so you have other win conditions in case your opponent denies dust early or is able to block it. Yeah, looks like we might be seeing that happen, though Lucky does have charge max, so although he wouldn't be able to deal max damage, the threat from decrossing is still there, because would decross fire.
The question is this gonna work? Here it comes.
Area grab will deny that area advantage, unfortunately.
Ah,
Electron getting decross.
That should not work, but it does.
That was a lot of damage.
Come on, grass.
Ah.
So automatically. Oh wow, he crossed us.
Yeah. Ooh, he was mid-movement, which is unfortunate. And the element trap missed as well because of flashing. Oh, nice. Getting charge shot and avoiding the erasement. Let's see if Lucky has enough time to get out the invis. I mean the recovery, and looks like he barely does. Going for Spout, though now Spout gets decrossed by fire, so let's see if Lucky. Ooh, and that will be a lot of damage, 3x damage from that decross.
That hurt. This is weird, seeing Aqua getting decrossed by fire. I tell you, this is the only stuff you'll see at the N1 GP. If you're not one of us, you're against us. So join us.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but yeah.
I'm just kidding, of course. But it is a lot of fun. Oh well, he got that on us already.
And the first Wood Dragon would get the decross as well. Let's see if that's going to connect though. See Beast out, so might be seeing Q-Force coming out. Ooh, unfortunately missing the erasement. If the uninstall lands, then Emden will be trapped.
He's angry. Oh my god!
That was a counter hit which gave Lucky anger, which led to that 2x, which finished off the game. Oh wow, what a chain of events! The Lucky counter hit.
A ×2 ground man. That is so much damage. That's normally 390, so that's what? 780? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think so.
Spicy, man. I'm telling you, the fun we have is the MotoGP. Great. And you want one of us is having fun?
Ooh, I think your voice getting a bit roboty. I'm not sure what the issue is.
Whoa, yeah, the voice is messing up. That's weird. Hold on. 5,000.
Alright, well, we can head into looking at the next setups while Eurasia's...
Okay, I think things are better.
Okay, yeah, it sounds better now. We're back.
Okay, as I was saying, the next the other people also having fun are the next players.
Yeah, so the next match will be Meta Wolfie vs Enduring Grey. So this is going to be our second to last match. Actually,
wait, really?
No, we still have more matches. So
I was gonna say because I'm pretty sure I saw more. No, you're lying to me.
Okay, so we still have a few more matches coming up. So, all right, well, let's look at the matchup for these two players. Okay, so again, we've seen both of them play, so there wouldn't be as much to discuss. It's just going to be, so Wolfie is running low on the area grabs, so usually Gregor wants to do high area grabs to allow you to get in with column force or slash cross, but because the build that Wolfie is going for is low on grabs because of his beast combos, so might be seeing a lot of play coming out from that side. So Enduring Grey is running 4 area grabs compared to the 2 from Wolfie, so that might come into effect. Going to have to watch out for that.
I am shaking too much for these matches. Sorry, I don't have anything constructive to say. I'm just really looking forward to the match between these two titans.
Alright, well, we shouldn't delay it anymore. Let's head into the match.
No, let's do it!
Okay, so we're seeing they're already starting on grass panel, which is actually pretty nice for Wolfie because of all the combos that he has with Alec.
Yeah, but he's gonna take advantage of that Alec.
That was the 3-frame input happening there. Which, yeah, so that protected Enduring Grey. So basically, to briefly explain that, there is a 3-frame window between the chip activating and, I mean, the chip being used and the actually activating. And if sometimes what happens, chips are activated in that window. So Enduring Grey used his anti-damage in that window that Wolfie used his Element Man with, so that protected him against that and allowed him to get a chance to use his Erase Man as TFC afterwards.
Yeah, that was really complicated. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting to see how a lot of frame perfect interactions that have started to affect some of the matches that we see.
Yeah, max power shock, man.
Though we do see this area is actually pretty good for Wolfie to try to get in his combos. He doesn't really need to go into beast out. He can just start with Elec Pulse into, yeah, and we do see him go for that. Ooh.
Judge.
I think that was a miss TFC though. But that will give him a chance to decross. Nice, getting the ice as well. That was a lot of damage.
Smack!
Nice, yeah. It was very well played. Unfortunate.
He ran into it. That would have been a good amount of damage too.
Yeah, and the uninstall as well. Now, Wolfie is already so much ahead on HP. Let's see what Enduring Grey still has a lot of things that could very easily bridge that gap. Okay, Elements Man, so probably go for Elect or Grass. Unfortunate, the area grab, the area just expiring. Ooh, is that ball going to connect? Nice movement.
The slow bubble is actually harder to dodge than it looks.
Yeah. So now we do see that Wolfie has the potential to very much finish the game with his combos. Let's see if they do connect though. Ooh, oh, that was really unfortunate, missing that. And yeah, Alec Pulse finishes off the game.
Alec Pulse 2 is really fast. So fast.
Ooh, though now we're starting with permaholds, so that's actually really bad for Enduring Grey because he wouldn't be able to get the air spin in the perfect position.
Yeah, that really stinks. We're not gonna be saying as many. Oh wow, it missed him.
Ooh, full cast that could be setting up, but that's also dangerous position to end in, because as we're seeing, that is the perfect position for Elec pulses to come out, and with wood already and SoulXCross, that could be a lot of damage.
It's gonna be hard to hit that sword.
He's debating between going into Beast Out or using SoulXCross for the extra damage.
Tough choice.
Okay, so he also has that bubble into fire as well. He could use the Element Mining EX. Ooh, Junge is going to slash. Ooh, that double hit on the bubble, which actually protected him from taking 2x from Element Man.
Whoa.
And yet the Element Man EX didn't do 2x damage because the way the panel changing attacks work is that they either change the panel before or after they hit, and Element Man changes it before the hit, so that removes the grass panels, then hits with it like. Should have waited a bit more on that sanctuary, would have been able to get holy panels as well. Oh, the double point.
No.
And Junge will be able to remove the anti-damage with the charger before using his attack. Let's see which one it is. Doesn't look like it was base. It might be static or... Ooh, it was static. That ended up missing, unfortunately, because of Invis and the charge shot from charge. Now we see Beast Out coming with all these combos, though I think that was Element Man EX, so I mean SP, so that would be the way to remove Life R. Though it is unfortunate having to throw away that much damage. He could go for Windrack, Bubble into Element Man SP Fire to deal the damage in D-Cross, I mean in with 2x as well. So he's just going for fire. Ooh, that did hit him at the very end. Nice, going for a leg. Ooh, the rush triggering that will give Metal Wolfie enough time to mash out and start his combo. Yeah, and D crosses. Ooh, and that was on grass as well at the very end.
That base, but it's not as strong as it could have been.
Yeah, it only does 480 damage, I believe.
Yeah, it's 60 times what? Like 8?
I think it's 8. It's 60 times 8, isn't it? But it wasn't nearly enough damage to finish off the game. Now, Metal Wolf is considering his options, going for his combos again. He does have Q-Force in hand, but with this much area it's not really worth going for. Especially with them, I believe, still being cracked or broken. Ooh. Oh, and that judgment will finish off the game, yeah.
Yo, those combos are so fast. I'm finding it hard to keep up with Wolf.
Yeah, so Metal Wolf's his folder was built around these combos, so that's all of his damage, but they are very At least they're very good to look at when they work. All the action going away. Yeah, that was very well played from both sides. GG's.
Yo, that was GG Wolf. Like that was good. Laters,
All
but we
right.
still got more. We still got more for you guys.
We still
Don't go
have
anywhere just yet.
3 more matches to go. The next one being IMASUKA vs Symes.
What's that zero? We still have 20 more matches. Okay.
I mean, 20 divided by something gives you 3, so sure.
Yes. Up next is Imasuka versus Symes, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Right. Trying to see if G can beat Z.
Yeah, so this is the second match we see so far from Symes.
Yeah, I just realized we really haven't seen a lot of Symes. Yo, Suka, what have I told you about net battling in the bathroom? Stop that.
Okay, so if we briefly look at the matchup, so interestingly, Imasuka now has air shoes and has that Geddon, which usually you see Gregor playing, but Symes isn't running either of these. So that's going to be interesting. Symes does have Sanctuary, he does have Holy Panels, so he has some ways of dealing with Geddon or with Broken Panels. But we're going to see how much of an impact that has. Broken Panels can actually be good because that enables him to use his Summon Blacks for free. And they don't really affect Tomahawk or Tenguman because they can just be used in place.
It's gonna be lots of fun to see this. Both of them have a lot of HP too, so this
Both playing high HP builds. I think it's only 200 HP. Symes is higher, so it's going to be very interesting to watch. Let's head right into it.
Let's go.
Okay, so we see the uninstall already. Uninstall vs Gregor can be very big. Although Symes would want to go into Beast Out, so that might be medicated. And interestingly, they both have a ragged gauge and they both have one of their play. So the way, do you want to explain quickly how using gauges work?
Gauges?
So if you use fast gauge via slow gauge.
Yes, whatever you use overwrites what's going on. So if someone uses fast gauge and then you use slow gauge, the gauge flips too.
Yeah.
They don't like even each other out. Oh my god.
Yeah, and so now Symes will be using his slow gauge, which will put the game in slow gauge until the end because Imasuka doesn't have any way to counter that.
Yes, when both players have two gauges, it's down to whoever ends up using it first.
Yeah, and that might actually be a good thing for Imasuka because we do see that Geddon in hand. So if Imasuka decides to go for a cross or a way to deal damage through charge shots, ooh, those times is going for slash. So if he's able to hold that end, that would be a lot of damage. Nice, the Judgment will regain the area though. Let's see if Symes has any more of his own air jabs. We do see one. Geddon could deny, still could deny charge shots. So it looks like Imasuka is holding on to that Geddon to use until the end of time. Yeah, so that will go up. Ooh, no! Symes was mid-movement, so that allowed him to step into the middle. That was really unfortunate.
Yeah, there's no escaping slash cross that close.
Though Imasuka does have good follow-up. We do see Tenguman, we do see static, machine gun. That Geddon could still get a lot of value.
She could technically go. Actually, no. I don't think she has. Oh no, wait. Yes.
Yeah, so someone is mentioning that the HP bug is maxing out very quickly, but Symes does run bug fix.
Got him.
So bug fix would fix the HP bug, even though it's used afterwards. I mean, because it's used afterwards.
Oh, summon Prix. That's gonna hurt a lot.
Into Sanctuary. Oh wow.
At
But
least
now-
that's gonna do damage.
Yeah. And now, if IMASUKA is able to get plus area, then he would get the value from these holy panels. All of the area expires from Symes. Okay, there it is. And we do see Hapai, so that will give custom 8 and attack charge max.
Although, well, are those heat dragons? I can't tell.
Yeah, I believe they are.
Yeah, yeah. He has to find a way to destroy those holy powers.
Which
Although,
is, yeah.
I was gonna say like the HP bug is pretty bad. Still.
And IMASUKA is going into SoulXCross, so that could be a way of very slowly at least trying to break some of these panels. So the Elements Man Freeze comes out, and yeah, that won't give enough time for a charge shot to land. HP is getting very low. But no, these charge shots should be able to corner Symes. Windrak, you still have Invis, should be able to use that. Symes doesn't run Rush, so you don't have to worry about that. Nice. But now down to 1 HP. The last Invis. Ah. IMASUKA now is in a very dangerous position. Symes, there's a lot of things that Symes could start with that would finish off the game. Though if IMASUKA is able to survive, then that is very much still anyone's game. IMASUKA has more than enough damage in hand to deal 700 damage and break the panels. Going into Beast Out might be a good start because that allows Beast Out chip charge to break panels and give some invulnerability frames.
It's too bad that the invisible he has in his hand, he was not able to activate.
Yeah. I think the play now might be to start with anti-damage, get an anti-damage. Because, so you start with the first anti-damage in case of Symes having Tomahawk or Tengu Man SP or Elements Man, and then actually I'm not sure, maybe that wouldn't be the correct play. What's the emotion called? Which one are you referencing? There is tired or exhausted.
Alright, blocked by anti-damage.
Ooh, that didn't break many of the holy panels as well, so that wasn't ideal. Yeah, and the Buster Shot will come out to finish off the game.
By one buster.
Okay, now starting with cubes at the field, so IMASUKA is deciding to start with with SoulXCross.
Tengu.
Yeah, I meant SoulXCross, misspoke. But yeah, so going to SoulXCross can be risky with Symes running Tomahawk Man or Slash Cross, and all of these summon blacks, so... Ooh. Nice. The Grandman will connect, though bug fix is coming out from Symes. Turn 1 bug fix. Let's see if this static connects. A bit too early, unfortunately. Should have been a good time to use these cubes. Okay, and this time IMASUKA is holding on to the fast gauge, because we've already seen what happened when Symes is able to get his slow gauge onto the field and basically control the pace of the match.
Yeah, that is true. As I mentioned before, it's down to the gauge control is down to whoever ends up using it last.
Yeah.
You can only have 2 of each anyway, so whoever uses the first one, then you just use yours.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That is the. I'm sorry. That is the other strategy you also have to keep in mind too. Is your gauge control. It is also good to think about if your folder will suffer under fast or slow gauge.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. And they both are running one of them and they can see each other's setup. So they are able to better prepare for that.
Yeah.
Getting control, nice.
Got him.
Nice. Symes is stuck in place and looks like MOON is going for that 2x Heat Dragon setup. With the race man.
Gotcha.
Nice, okay.
He took that hit.
So just waiting for its time out for the confirmed hit.
Boom!
Nice, yeah, there it is.
Oh boy.
Ooh, so that will decross 2x damage.
Oh, it's coming.
I don't think we've seen uninstall already, have we? From IMASUKA?
Not yet.
Okay, so these machine guns wouldn't have confirmed full hits.
Yes, like they will do some damage, but not as much as it could.
And now Custom 6 is really getting into MOON, not being able to pick as many chips as they'd like. Ooh, Summon Black coming out, 160 damage. Okay, getting 2 hits from these machine guns isn't bad. Nice, using the anti-damage while flashing to protect it, so there's no opportunity for a TFC.
Such a tough choice. His hand is very limited right now, but the life aura should protect him from most things.
And though we see Symes having that 777 HP, the lucky,
Yo!
lucky sevens.
Jackpot. Jackpot. Uh-oh.
Okay, getting in ahead. Judgment, nice, avoiding that and deciding to keep that life orb. A Windrak might be coming next though, yeah. Into Eric drop. And then this Invis will last the whole time, unfortunately. Nice.
Watch out!
Used that just before getting it.
He is now stuck in that position, so he could try to capitalize on it. No wait, he's still invis.
Yeah, this might actually be a good turn to use the fast gauge, just to try to get her batch out and look through your hand. Ground will decross erase though, so Symes will have to try to avoid that. Though unfortunately MOON still doesn't have charge max without the hub batch. Now it's up.
There you go. Custom 7. I mean, yeah, custom 8. Custom 8.
And with the rigged fast gauge, it might as well be custom 7.
Yeah, he's had that forever, and that's just taking up a spot.
Though it could still be valuable, denying slow gauge could have value. Though with uninstall, you might actually want the slow gauge to come down if MOON is able to get you an advantage. Nice. That will remove the trap as well. Unfortunate. Getting just one hit in.
Oh,
Ooh,
they both.
Nice.
Oh man, that stinks. They both missed.
Ooh, we see that getting's the best way to try to confirm ground cross charge shots, and if they connect, they will deal a lot of damage. I think it's 300 or something. And they don't flash and interrupt, so they're very strong if they connect.
Man, both of them are very even.
Ooh, slow gauge is coming out. Triple nice. That was halved by the holy panel, and Summon Black is coming out to remove that life aura. Again, the holy panel is really saving Symes.
Got him!
Nice! And that will bring him down to 1 HP. Tenguman will finish it off. Nice one.
You did get hit twice, but it was worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen ground cross actually land a hit.
Yeah, unfortunately it's very rare, but it does happen.
Like, it stinks. I was looking forward to it, but you go on the ground first.
Okay, now again we're seeing the uninstall with bubble into Hate Dragon, so we might be seeing that 2x and uninstall already. So MOON's thinking about it. It might be too risky to take this early on. Ooh. No, I mean, the uninstall should be on the Heat Dragon, because if the bubble connect, Heat Dragon is confirmed. Nice, that connected anyway. And starting with the green invis, already to a great start. Going to turn 2, now keeping the green invis, and this is the perfect position for static to connect. Nice, maxing out on that HP damage bug. Nice, waiting on the element man. I mean, waiting on the anti-damage.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's gonna hit on the bottom.
Yeah, so just waiting for a timeout. I think Symes might have enough time to get in a charge shot, though I'm not really sure. Ooh, grab revenge, okay. Never mind. I'm also thinking about going with Tomahawk Cross, but there isn't really much value. I don't think, because we've already seen Erase Man, this stats card wouldn't help, so it might have been better to try to save that for the Q-Force.
So many possibilities. It's almost impossible to really account for all of them.
Yeah.
Ground man.
Nice. Ah, the life or protecting Symes.
Just saved them. Ow. Ow!
At least that triple shot didn't connect.
You know, seeing Tomahawk not getting decrossed by fire is just...
Yeah. And the Judgment missed, so we missed the opportunity of seeing it decross.
Boom. Hub Batch is back.
Again, I think we're going to see Tenguman removing that life aura, unless Symes can't step up, so that's going either way.
No.
Oh, he could have stepped up, so he could have avoided this. But now he's going to Alec can give very strong decross. Ooh, Summon Black at the TFC coming down. Now Symes is back to being ahead on HP. Ah, shame.
Oh no!
Judgment missing. And now no way of confirming the Tomahawk charge shot. So now MOON does have quite the combo. Start machine gun to bubble into machine gun. The bubble will decross as well, so that's 200 damage. Could go into spout to try to get in extra damage, or okay, one hit connects, nice. That sets up for that machine gun as well.
Machine gun's so powerful to catch him. 70 damage each.
Ooh, bubble wrap. Let's see if any fire.
Probably not the best option when more things will do damage to it.
Yeah, especially with MOON running 2 heat dragons and the Elements Man, which we already see Elements Man in hand, though might be seeing static instead as the option to remove that. I think we've already seen life auras, yeah. Static can be used for free without having to worry about it. Using Elements Man will give a chance for a TFC, so either of them could work. Though obviously Elements Man is for the higher damage. Ooh, CB out, Q-Force could be coming. And yeah, area grab, so that is some of the setup. I think going into Elec might have actually been the play to deny some of the Q-Force.
Colonel Force!
Yeah, it's doing a lot of damage. Go to static, ooh, Windrak connecting, and that caused
that messed up.
Yeah. The uninstall getting Symes a lot of damage. I mean the Q-Force getting Symes a lot of damage.
Well, it's a good thing that he has super armor and tomahawk. He was able to move.
And now we're seeing Gedem might be coming out, so that could be damage. But if Symes goes into Erase will connect from anywhere in the field. So Gedem wouldn't help much with that one.
Yep. Called it.
And yeah, so because of super armor, this wouldn't flinch anyway. Ooh.
That's not gonna help.
Down to invis. Oh no, that's really unfortunate. Though it looks like Symes doesn't have anything else to use to chip charge, I mean. Actually,
yeah.
He did, yeah.
I figured he might have one more. Symes usually goes with 3 chips or one more.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. That was very close. MOON almost had it with the game, but the Q-Force coming out and then into Erase, not having an answer to that.
Yeah, that was fun. Though we still got more people, so stay here.
Alright, this one is going to be our second to last match with Meta Wolfie vs Neryth. Which really? I believe this is the first match we've seen of Neryth.
Yeah, I was wondering if he played. Like, we've been there. He's fighting Wolf, so this is gonna be a very tough battle, even for an experienced player like him.
Yeah, so
we see that.
Yeah.
No. You explain first.
So I was just trying to say that Neryth is running very interesting build with Falzar, going with T code as his main code, but also running few options that you don't really see all that often.
Yeah, he's running Circle Gun T. He's running VDOL, which is actually the most interesting. What exactly does he have planned with VDOL?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So he might be trying to go for Tomahawk or Tengu, or using that to maybe bait your opponent to step under it, which will confirm some of the other attacks. But yeah, so it is very interesting build. So you see Symes running very low in defense. I mean, Neryth is running very low in defense.
I can't read that. Oh wait, that's Neryth. Neryth. I can't read that. It was backwards.
Okay, yeah. So Neryth is running 1 anti-navi anti-damage, so he has the components for bodyguard, but I don't think he will be going for it. It's very difficult to land, and he doesn't have any white capsules, so he's probably going to try to use that separately. Yeah.
He also doesn't have an uninstall either, so he can't force the opponent to flinch.
Yeah, that is a good point. He does have the Heat Dragon, Wood Dragon, Moonblade, so he's trying to go for a lot of D crosses as people are mentioning. But also getting in very basically you either win very quickly or lose very quickly. He's running low HP, so 1400 HP, no recoveries, but 5 area grabs, V-dolls, meteor knuckles, so he's very very offensive build.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's just straight up pounding the opponent.
Yeah, and Meta Wolfie is running very combo heavy build, so that's going to be a very interesting game to see unfold. Alright, let's head right into it.
Let's go.
Okay, and we already see some of these combos with the potential starting hand. Though it looks like Meta Wolfie is deciding to wait a bit to see what Neryth has. So Neryth has very low defense, but he has element traps, which are very good against elec chips, and has anti-sword, which actually works very well against Meta Wolfie, who has plenty of sword chips.
And with 1400 HP, The HP difference isn't very high.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go.
Going into Tomahawk, so that might be to try to chip charge some of these Wood Dragons, though he will get out. Yeah, decrossed immediately by the Elec, and he doesn't have air shoot, so where he decides to step is going to be where he can move. Ooh, nice, having the Holy Panel will protect his life aura. So Windrax, Meta Wolfie is running, I believe, 3 Windrax? Or 2, so he still has 1 in hand, so that will be a very easy way for moving that life aura.
That was fast.
Although he is deciding to cross cancel out of slash cross, which is interesting given that he has still 1 area grab to use. I guess he's seeing that that Neryth is running 5 area grabs, which makes it very difficult to try to maintain positive area against him. Especially with the 2 area grabs that Meta Wolfie is running. Let's see what Neryth decides to go for. We still don't know which trap. I think we know it's not element trap. Or was it used after the Bubble Star came out? Tengu Cross coming out, which is going to counter the life aura. So Meta Wolfie is going to be waiting out for it. And yeah, that is probably either anti-sword or anti-damage, or anti-navi.
Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, Judgment will protect the anti-damage, but Backbee is going to deal with this straight away, yeah. Oh no, that's going to miss completely.
Oh, God, man.
Yeah, now he doesn't have the option of getting Tomahawk -P if he had it, or maybe he didn't. Seeing Beast out, we're probably going to be seeing Beast combos coming out. Elementsman X has 120 damage. Isn't that what normal Elementsman does? Oh no, Elementsman is 100, right?
Normally, yes.
Yeah, so just 20 difference. Should have been running Elec -P or something like that in Eco as well. Ooh. And the fire getting the 3x also causing that circle gun to miss.
Yo, that was too fast, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of damage coming out. Fire Burn 3 is already a lot of damage. Getting it with the 3x as well. That's going to hurt.
Oh boy.
Now again we're seeing another combo potential, but I guess it's less value. So he's starting with the machine gun to deal with that trap that Neryth has. I think at this point we don't really, we can't really track which trap Neryth has up. We're going to have to see which one by the chips that get activated. Ooh, missing that Moonblade. The second one will trigger that anti-damage. Rush. I think that rush might be long enough to last the whole turn. Actually, just barely, yeah. But we do see that machine gun, so now Neryth is going to have the time to react to it and maybe avoid it. Though we still don't know which trap that is.
It's always hard to guess.
Neryth might be thinking about cross-cancelling to make sure that his trap doesn't get clipped. Because basically all of his traps have good value. Normally anti-sword is the least valuable one because anti-damage would be a common way to trigger it, but this time looking at Metal Wolfie's build, anti-damage, slash cross, Alex swords are all good ways to try to activate that. Okay, might be anti-sword because he goes into Dust Cross. So this setup looks like he's setting up for the Meteor Knuckles. Ooh, losing, I think that was Element Man SP to beat. Okay, trap coming. Wood Dragon, okay, so maybe... Oh, he is flashing, so... Go ahead.
No, I was saying that combo doesn't work in this mode. Using wood than fire.
Yeah. And unfortunately that gave flashing. So now Metal Wolfie can either try to take defense or use his grab revenge, which will give him all the area back and deal a lot of damage. Let's see what the play is. I don't think we've seen Erase Man from Neryth, so that might be bad if he has that.
There goes that trap.
Ooh, Judge Man will regain the area. It's not quite enough damage per game though. It's getting close. Elements Man SP. Okay, so going with the safer play with fire instead of grass.
Knuckles! But he has anti.
Yeah, and has air shoes still, I believe. Oh no, Metal Wolfie doesn't have air shoes, so Neryth might be able to camp. Nice, yeah.
He's still alive? Probably what he's thinking right now.
Yeah, but no, unfortunately, I don't think Neryth has a lot of damage still. So it's going to be very rough to try to deal 1000 damage with the chips he has left. He already used his Giga, Tengu Man SP's already been used. Okay, Sanctuary coming down. Ooh, Vidal. Area grab. Another area grab. Yeah, that will pierce the invis. Ah,
Dang.
yeah, Buster Shot just finished off the game. It was a very difficult position for Neryth to try to avoid getting hit there. Okay, now going into the next game, we see starting with ice panels, so this might be an option for Neryth to go into SoulXCross and trying to get in a lot of damage. But he needs to watch out for these fire burns, bubble into fire burn. We already saw that in game 1 and in previous matches, and they hurt a lot. Or the Elements Man SP as well, with the easy confirm on fire. Ooh, interesting. Metal Wolf is deciding to stay in base, man. there might be...
You're gonna take the ice though. Well, he hasn't had a chance. No, he's gonna take it. No, yeah.
Ooh, nice air grab that will triple damage.
Oh,
Oh
but that,
no! And the miss of the air grab. Yeah, denying Beetle doesn't even give the poison panel.
yes, for guys not aware, you can still fire a charge shot even if you have the rocks or ice cubes in there. You just gotta fire a normal buster shot.
Yeah. Okay, now Wolfie has good defense, but he also has the options to get a lot of combos out. So one thing I'm not sure, I don't think we're going to see it, doesn't look like it. But one combo I like to do is Bubble Star into Wind Rack, which allows it to get multiple hits from the Bubble Star. Okay, Holy Panel comes down, so that will allow Neryth to somewhat center himself. Yeah, that was Element Trap, so there was plenty of defense to stop it. Ooh. Yeah, unfortunate. At least that dealt with the Holy Panel, but no 2x on that. Yes, that makes T-Code quite a bit stronger in normal BN compared to Reverse Weakness. Even though Tomahawk and Tengu -P are really strong.
Yeah, they're both strong and they both have their uses too. It's actually really nice that that the Tengu -P can remove, well, Tengu in general can remove aura and still hit you.
Yeah, that's very good value. So if you have anti-damage and life aura, both of them could be removed.
Just with one chip. Wow.
Okay, so it looks like Wolfie is going for his combos, but also a lot of... Ooh, he decided to keep that. Anti-Navi, okay. So now he's trapped there, let's see. So Electros might be coming out for the D-Cross, there it is.
Well, it was half damage because he was on the Holy Panel. And that's gonna hit too!
Ooh, pressing A bit too early. Judgment will miss, but that will give the area back.
That was still half damage.
Was it half damage?
Yes, like yeah, the books hit that the Holy Panel area.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he only took half damage from that, which is great. Yeah, it's amazing. Like you don't normally would think what Holy Panel would actually be putting in work.
Yeah, Holy Panel is very strong chip. I think it's getting somewhat underused.
Life aura.
Wolfie taking the grab revenge, maybe expecting area grabs or just trying to go through his chips. Ooh, it does have the Wind Rack. Okay. That will remove the life aura. And the machine gun's looking tempting, getting both D-Cross and removing trap. Yeah, looks like Wolfie is deciding to stay in normal beast. He doesn't want to risk any D-Cross. Getting D-Cross can be very bad. Especially if he doesn't have any real use of going into a different cross, so can keep them for a different situation. Okay, let's see what Neryth has. Ooh, going to Beastar, so I might be seeing Moonblade or other combos coming out.
He's invisible.
That machine gun dealing with both the trap and Tengu. Ooh, that dealt, I think that was normal damage, but dealt with the Holy Panel finally.
Yeah, and the holy panel's finally gone. F, big F for that holy panel.
Now we see Q Force, though I'm not sure how much damage would that be with Baseman. I don't think that's quite enough. Actually, that is a good point. I'm not sure if Fire Burn deals damage first or removes the panel.
From what I saw, the damage was normal damage. Oh, they're gonna make some holes?
Nice, so now he's going to be able to hide from that meteor from that current force as well. Nice.
Wow,
play.
that was a close play. More invisible for everybody.
Ooh, these combos. Wolfie might be tempted to go to that beast over. Would that be the correct play though? I'm not sure if Wolfie's triggered rush. I think he did. But yeah, looks like beast over is the choice. Let's see if Neryth has enough defense to deal with that. If everything lands, that could be game. Okay, so he's using traps, so this is probably anti-damage, yeah. Down to 8 HP and Buster Shots finishing off the game.
Yo, seeing these beast over wins is just clutch, man.
Yeah. It's actually really interesting because sometimes beast over ends up mashing too fast and cause you to miss your chips and lose games, so going into beast over is definitely a double-edged sword.
My heart can't take much more of this.
Well, you're almost there. We have our final match in Solid vs luckytyphlosion.
Solid!
Solid
other arch nemesis.
I think this is the second match we see of Solid so far, so...
I know, I just every time I hear her name, I just gotta get ready because any fight with Solid is a fun fight.
It's a fun fight indeed. So if we briefly look at how the matchup might play, so Lucky is playing Bug the Thunder with double Giga, so that will rely on him trying to control the game. Basically, he wants to control the pace, find Bug the Thunder as soon as possible, and deny Solid from most of her attacks. But on the other hand, so Solid has few ways to be able to deal with that. So she is playing Gregar, so no hub batch unfortunately, but she could still have Charge Cross. She does have the 3 Bubble Stars, she has 2 Risky Honey, the 2 Flash Bombs, Wind Drag, so she has plenty of ways to try to get counters or try to deny the charges from Lucky. But we're going to see if Solid's able to capitalize on that advantage.
Well, remember, in this case, Risky Honey will not be doing any protecting since Alec goes through wood here.
Ooh, yeah, indeed, that is a good point that I forgot about. So she might try to use that early or maybe get a counter hit before Lucky fires his charge shot.
Yeah, to normal circumstances, Risky Honey is a great counter because blocking, it would not only block it would also create more views.
Yeah.
But not in this case.
That's a very good point. So the other ways that Solid has to deal with, so Lucky wants to go into Dust straight away, but Solid has Colonel Man SP or Colonel SP. She also has Delta Ray, so Lucky has to be very careful. If he decides to keep staying in Dust for too long, then Solid might be trying to go for the chip lockout, which is do you want to explain how chip lockouts work for Bug the Thunder?
Right. I don't believe we mentioned the chip lockout with that chip. Bug the Thunder, after you use it, there's a momentary bit of time where you actually cannot use any chips at all.
Yeah.
You can't even use a time freeze chip in counter.
Yeah.
So that is actually one weakness that the chip has that can be exploited.
Yeah, but so the timing for that is 30 frames, and it's not really obvious from the animation, so you have to know it, and you have to be playing around it with lag. You have to get the exact timing, so there's a lot that can go into it, but if you are able to get it, then it is very strong.
Yep, and it's time to see how the last match of this crazy, bizarro world goes.
Alright, well, let's head right into the last match.
Last operation, set
And execute.
Well, Sally got that first turn life aura, like always.
Yeah, so Life Aura is an interesting choice when playing against BDT, so she might decide to use that early because it doesn't have as much value, or keep it later to protect against the D-Cross. Though we do see Salads going for Charge Cross immediately. That's a very interesting choice.
Well, that +1 always helps.
Yeah, but very often Charge Cross is
Burn!
kept for later. Nice, and she's able to immediately get in that 2x value as well.
Oh no. Well, technically, unless using a chip, Lucky can't hit her from there. Oh, there you go.
Or careful movement around broken panels, so that
Oh!
doesn't do much.
Cluster bug, how unfortunate.
When Solid sees the Life Aura and she has the Wind Rack to deal with it. So she's probably taking her own Life Aura to protect against anything that would decross or interrupt the Wind Rack. Okay, Life Aura is coming out. And Life Aura is gone for Lucky, and the anti-damage, nice. She goes for a leg, which will give flashing, so that means this Flash Bomb is confirmed to connect. So she's having good setup for next time.
Yo, there was no way for Lucky to hit that.
Yeah.
And since the flash bombs don't count as objects, SoulXCross can't eat it either.
Yeah, exactly. Though now we do see the Colonel coming out from Salad. She's taking it. If that's connect, that's 600 damage and denying Dusting. But we'll see if it connects though. Ooh, this area might make it more difficult for it to connect. If Lucky camps on that one panel forward, then he's going to completely avoid that. Ooh, okay. Salad was still holding on to it, maybe waiting for Lucky to use his defense and then using it as TFC. So Lucky's just using Dusty, going through his folder, deciding on what to take. Actually, I don't think we've explained what Dustig is. Do you want to explain that?
Dustig?
Yeah, well, so we've mentioned that a lot, but I don't think we've actually explained what it does.
You're referring to the dust shoot, right?
Yeah, so restacking with chips.
Yes, SoulXCross has the ability to send the chips in your hand to the back of the folder. Like, they aren't destroyed, they're just sent to the back of the line. That's basically allowing you to go through your folder much faster than normal.
Yeah. And they also go in the same order, I believe, that you sent them.
Yes. So whatever you send first is going to appear first when you see it again.
Ooh, nice.
There you go.
So using the bug fix. Because she knows that Lucky is very unlikely to want to TFC against that. And he didn't have anything for it anyway, and we do see Sal has the risky Annie, and there is the lava funnel, so she might be able to use that to get the second beehive, which is interesting, or I guess against buster shots. Yeah, that's it. Maximum beehives. Let's see.
If she times this,
yeah,
she can cross cancel and then use the erasement.
Yeah, warp step makes it normally very easy to avoid, but this time Lucky will be forced to go forward. Ooh, and she is taking the Delta Edge, which will be confirmed unless Lucky steps up. Lucky's going into Tomahawk. Ah, that defense.
Uh-oh.
And the Burger Freeze. Let's see if Lucky's... Ooh, nice! Nice movement. I thought he still had Warp Step, but he used Bug Fix already. Ooh, losing anti-damage. That was really unfortunate. Sluggish, so might be seeing Bug the Thunder. Yeah, Sul's waiting for the optimal area with that Delta Ray, or maybe the actually I think that will make the Bug the Thunder miss. Yeah.
Oh, wow, God. 2 hits is still good.
Yeah. Still a lot of damage, bringing down Lucky to 100 HP. Sul's 1000 HP up. He just needs to maintain the advantage. And she definitely has more than enough damage in hand to do that. Though, I was going to say she doesn't have much to pierce Invis, but she does in that Flash Bomb and Judgment.
Yep. Several options to pierce the Invisible Man.
Ooh, going into Tengu. And yeah, that's Invis coming out. Ooh, the recoveries though, they're pretty big for Lucky. Started waiting out to interrupt. Ah, shame. Barely missing out.
Dang.
That was very close. And now, yeah, the Bug the Thunder is going to hit into Element Smash, so that will give a D-Cross. Oh wow, the area went back. Didn't look like it. But yeah, now that Flash Bomb is going... Ah, wasn't quite long enough to trap. But that fire doing 2x damage. Lucky's back down to 200 HP, but...
Oh, Bubble Punch! That's funny.
I think there was a long freeze that was cut out from the match. And that was what the interruption there was. But yeah, so I think there might have been some lag in that match, I'm not really sure. I think sometimes Solid and Lucky get some lag in their connection. Okay, so going for the anti-damage into area grab. Ooh, the Invis, so she still needs to survive. We see that Bug the Thunder is clearing the grass pans. Ah, shame, miss. So this will connect. Nice!
Wait. Wasn't that supposed to go through?
Yeah, so it did go through, but because she had anti-damage up, that didn't...
Oh!
Yeah.
Okay, I was confused for a second.
That extended the animation.
It wasn't the honey that blocked it, it was the anti-damage.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
Ooh, we see Solid already with that Colonel SP, and she is going for it, so if she can get the D-Cross, that will be very big. 600 damage was more than enough damage to make all the difference. And get the D-Cross as well. Okay, so she has the defense for that ground man.
Poor ground man. He always ends up missing more often than not.
Bug Fix coming out. That might make it more difficult to avoid buster shots. Nice, Raceman connects. Let's see if she goes for the Colonel SP straight away or waits a bit more. Okay, she's going for it. Nice, and it does get the D-Cross. It was very big, denying dust immediately. Lucky getting greedy and keeping the full cast in hand.
Lucky hates colon SP. Sun and black.
Yeah, you need to be careful getting D-crossed by sword, is double-edged sword. Now looks like Lucky decided to go into ground cross. Ground cross is an interesting choice. I don't think Lucky has much to go with that, and doesn't have Geddon or any way of locking Salad in. So connecting these charges. Ooh, we see that Wood Dragon. Is she going to be able to avoid that? I don't think so. Very nice, nice movement. And that, yeah, that allowed her to get the confirmed hit, and now she's down to 13 HP.
Lucky said that Wood Dragon that missed actually had
That was really unfortunate.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. And now actually staying in ground cross could be bad for Lucky because the Charcho is so predictable that Salad can use that to easily get counter hits.
Yeah, yeah, it's sad. It's one of the worst charge shots.
It's the best in terms of damage, but the worst in terms of being able to land it.
Yeah.
Lucky going for Tomahawk.
Oh! Got it!
I think that might have been lag because I really doubt Salad wanted to beat D-Cross there for free. She still has fire chips, so...
Watch out, Salad! He's gonna swing at you! Oh no, she can't hear us! She has AirPods!
Ooh.
Oh no!
Is she throwing away all of her hand to take new chips? I don't know about that. She still had a lot of stuff in hand.
Look out, Salad!
Oh, nice movement. So she is triggering Crash, so
Bad dog.
getting the 2x from that. Does she have Delta Ray Edge? I don't remember if she
Yes.
took that next.
Yes, she grabbed it.
Okay, so she is going for the 2x Delta Ray Edge on the Bug the Thunder chip lockout. Let's see if she
Chip
gets it.
lockout! Oh my god!
Nice!
No!
Yes, connect!
1, 2, 3!
And
Delta
that
Ray
was
Edge!
the game by more
Delta!
than enough damage.
Delta Ray Edge times 2! Woo!
Ooh, getting in.
That huge damage! Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! This is what I mentioned earlier. Rush is great, but it can be used against you.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
It was very well played from Salad as well, trying to get that 2x and waiting for that chip lockout. That takes a lot of skill and good timing to get.
Good game, Lucky. You'll get them next time. No worries.
Yeah, yeah, that was definitely the highlight for the stream for me.
Whew, oh baby, I was not expecting a × 2 Delta. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we've seen so much good stuff today. We've seen air spin static ×2.
Yeah.
We've seen drop the base twice, and now ×2 Delta Ray.
Yeah,
You
this
can only
stream.
get this stuff. You can only get this at the end of 1GP.
Exactly, it's been really great seeing the stream. And although today's stream is over, don't worry, because so the way this tournament's working out is that there is still going to be top cut. So going to quickly show on screen. So this is the current standing for the round robin stage. There is still tomorrow though, so these rankings could change. But there will be a top cut section of the tournament happening throughout next week, and then another stream will be going on. Another stream will be happening next weekend, so make sure to tune in for that to see how the tournament ends out playing.
I'm not sure my heart will make it that next week. Yes, thank you for clipping that. Thank you very much for that. Well, it was a fun trip, but remember, as playerzero said, we are not done yet. We still have top cut to do.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for watching. Thank you Eurasia for joining me on commentary. That was a lot of fun.
It's always fun with you, playerzero, and Battle Week is always fun too.
Yeah, indeed, and huge shout out to Salad for working really hard on the stream layout. And yeah, before ending, I'm going to mention a shout out to Meta Wolfie, luckytyphlosion, Enduring Grey, and Emden for actually playing all of their matches already, which is always a good thing to see. So huge shout outs to all of our players trying to get in all of the matches as soon as possible. And yeah, hope everyone enjoys the stream. Looking forward to seeing you next week, and have a good day. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye.